Hey fellas, Future Neon here. This is part 2 of the Spring 2022 Seasonal Anime Podcast. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go ahead and click the card in the top right hand corner to check it out. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a like, head on down to the comments and tell us what you think, and be sure to subscribe for more. We now return to your regularly scheduled anime opinions. I am incredibly excited to talk about this next show. Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. Been looking forward to this one ever since the start of the season.
I've been looking forward to it too, but I think for the opposite reason that you were.
It's definitely the waifu show of the season. It's the one where it's got its girl.
Like move over, like it's going like it's for me. She took the place of no offense, but she took the place of Marin Kirigaya for me.
I mean, it happens every season, bro. First it was Komi, like just most recently
Komi,
it was
then Marin, and then this girl.
Kitagawa came out, and then the "I don't want to play with you anymore" meme just plays out in my head, and then it's trying to happen again with Shikimori.
And for good reason, I'd reckon.
Vlusky, you're dead to me.
I wouldn't quite say that she's surpassed Kitagawa in terms of
right.
And not in every aspect. She has her own unique strengths.
I like not all.
But
overall,
I'm curious to hear Crunchy's perspective because he's been chomping at the bit to talk about this show ever since we started recording the podcast.
Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting conversation. Hey,
I don't really have any particular, I guess you would say, problems with Shikimori as a character. The show I have tons of problems with, and I'm going to get into that. But in terms of waifu material, from that perspective, it's not that Shikimori has problems so much as she just isn't that charming. Like, so her thing is basically that she's both cool and cute. Sometimes she's cute, sometimes she's cool. Sometimes she gets really
that's
intense.
The point of the
it's
show.
Like, oh, I'm gonna protect you.
Yeah, that's the point of the show. Shikimori is not just a cutie. That's literally in the title.
It's literally right there on the tin. And some of her cute moments, they hit a little. Some of her cool moments. I mean, I guess that one face she made in the opening sequence of the show, not the OP, but like the actual opening sequence before the OP. That one face was, I mean, I think Crunchyroll even used it as like the thumbnail to their trailer. So that was a really good facial expression. That worked on me. But she just isn't all that charming, and it's difficult to put into words exactly why I feel this way. She has a character, for sure, and it's not poorly written, it's just not like Kitagawa was so much more charming. Like, I loved her after an episode.
So, Crunchy, what you're saying is that you don't like strong-willed, confident women.
You don't like strong and independent woman.
Don't you dare say that, because Maureen was also strong-willed and confident. It's definitely not that.
Woman supremacy.
I think I can kind of understand where you're coming from, because in terms of like goals and aspirations, I mean, we've got Kitagawa after just one episode of Dress Up Darling was like pretty much, even though she kind of like bared her soul to Gojo the moment they met, it was still a moment of we understand what her goals and aspirations are and what she is hoping to achieve out of this partnership that she has with Gojo, whereas Shikimori's only drive in life is to be a good girlfriend, which might also come down to the two goals, the overall like goals and story trajectories of these shows, because Dress Up Darling has more of a narrative to it, while it feels like Shikimori has more of just
it's
slice
episodic,
of life.
I guess.
Yeah, episodic story about their relationship.
Shikimori as a show is definitely a lot more aimless than Dress Up Darling in that regard. It sorta seems like it's just gonna be a series of the characters' everyday life, and that's fine. That's not averse to like good show stuff. I like Yu Yushiki, and that show quite literally has zero plot, zero development anywhere. But I'm not sure if I want
hang on.
to.
So, yes. Okay, so shows like this, shows where it's like just characters interacting, is just like a gamble for me. Like I could technically enjoy some, and then I could just totally despise some, and then y'all know what I'm talking about. I think I talk about it, but it's just I can't put into words about like what priorities I have with shows like this. But for Shikimori, it's one of my favorite, I guess you can say that. I like it. Like I like the style. I like the interaction. It's not like in my face. It's like in your face funny, or like, but I got good vibes out of it. That's simply how I feel.
The good vibes definitely come from the central cast of our main 5 characters who. Maybe not one on their own is like strong enough to carry an entire show, but if the show continues to be about the 5 of them hanging out, I feel like there's a lot of enjoyment to be derived from their little hangout at the bowling alley, where we get to see how each one plays off of each other. I think highlights this the best. The blonde girl who always has a smile on her face with the
the dead face girl, Hachimitsu.
Is that once again I wrote down in my notes. This is another certified crunchy character.
Oh, okay.
Fun
so
fact:
Crunchy,
that was my favorite character of the show.
Amazing.
Knew it. It's too easy.
All right, correct. Okay, you won. You know what? A virtual cookie for me. She's not like one of my favorites since like she just exists there. She just stares at everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just
Y'all do
like
things,
how she's just there in the background, just always with the same expression.
she rarely
It's funny.
never smiles, and even when she's like gasping out of breath, she's never like losing the expression. She's never like making a face of like anger or disdain. She's still kind of got the same blank, not a single thought behind those eyes expression.
All right.
Zero thoughts.
I think her name is
Worries.
Hachimitsu, right?
Yes, Hachimitsu.
Because I have in
Yeah.
my notes. I literally have in my notes. Hachimitsu is my spirit animal. Something about the pan to her peace signing and saying "sup" is hilarious to me.
Amazing. Yeah, I can
I wonder
totally
if you can
get
find like the exact point in the episode that happens. Actually, I have the episode open right now. I could probably find it. Like she just pans over to her saying "sup," and I thought that was great.
I think my
Alright.
favorite moment with her is when in the second episode where all the girls are lining up to shake the green spiky haired girl's hand after the volleyball game, and she's like got a beret and a director's megaphone in her hands, being like, "All right, you get 10 seconds to shake her hand. Line up."
Oh, that's funny. That's
Almost
that's a
treating
good
it like
bit.
a commodity.
That's a good.
All right.
bit.
How much of the show did y'all watch? Because I only saw the first episode.
I
watched-
catched up. All of it. I catched up with it.
I watched, for the sake of the podcast, I watched the first 2 episodes, although if I were not beholding myself to watch all the other shows, I definitely would have caught up real fast. Because this is definitely one of the best of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's one of the good ones. Like it is the
It's
top,
one of
what
the
I call
good
the top of the.
I
Yes.
have so
One
many
of the good ones.
disagreements here.
All right, Crunchy. All right,
Alright.
Crunchy, go forward.
Charge!
So this is a Dogakoba show, and Dogakoba is normally known for their good visuals. Even if the plot is bad, the visuals are normally good. Obviously, that isn't always the case because we had I forget what it was even called, but like the one show that or the one other show that
RPG?
Dogakoba made this season that
RPG?
we all agreed looked
RPG Fudo
really
San?
Oh,
that one.
RPG Real Estate.
RPG Real
Yeah.
Estate, yeah. We all agreed that one didn't look that great. But generally speaking, Dogakoba pulls through on the visual, on the visual front. Why does this show
This-
look so mid? The visuals are
don't
are
agree.
so
I don't
mid.
agree.
This is okay.
If
One
we're-
out of the many that
Alright.
I have an objection with. I don't know what it is. I like the colors of this. It just pops, I guess, and then the design of it. I guess I just like the color in the design. It stands out a bit to me. But yeah, right, yes.
I think I understand what Crunchy's problem with the visuals are.
Yeah.
I think the lighting is not very great in this show.
It's a bit bright.
it's definitely because like I'm imagining some of the shows that even if you don't agree quality wise, I'm thinking like the best looking shows that Dokukobo's ever made. Like I think Umaru is one of their best looking shows. New Game, even if the fluorescent light kind of hurts my eyes at some points. How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. All of those shows have good to very great lighting, and the lighting in this show is kind of desaturated, which is weird for having all of these characters with
it's okay. It's funny you say that. I'm agreeing with the fact that it's okay. No, saturation is not the correct word. I think for me it's less not that. It doesn't have that much contrast like the blacks that the darks into that dark.
Yeah,
and
maybe it's the
that,
contrast actually.
But the saturation. We're talking about the saturation. It is as saturated. This is.
It feels like the characters are more saturated than the background, or maybe you're right, and it is like the contrast.
It's sort of the Tonikaku effect in that sense, where the characters are super saturated, but the backgrounds aren't. The backgrounds are a mix of like okay looking to incredibly crusty CG when it comes to like the bowling scene. And there was also one shot where like they're looking at the classes they were getting into, and the sidewalk was like this incredibly crusty looking CG, and I was like, this looks terrible. Like
I was not offended
Understandable.
I was not offended by the backgrounds as much. I was like, definitely what I noticed about the background. The only time I noticed the background is when I'm looking at the characters being like, they like the lighting doesn't necessarily match as well as I would like it to. It doesn't. I don't want to say it's like he doesn't even look like he belongs in the world that he's inhabiting. You know, go full Digibro, but it's not nowhere near that bad. But it definitely feels like it could have used maybe a little more time in the oven, maybe a little better compositing job.
Like, when I think of some classically very saturated shows, like, with very saturated colors for their characters, I think of No Game, No Life and New Game. I like the way both of those shows look. And the reason why is because the backgrounds and, the entire show, like, the entire visual style of the show is around these super vibrant colors. This show just looks half-assed in comparison. And it's also, like, I don't know, it's difficult to say, but the characters at some points look even more vibrant than the ones in those shows almost, and it kind of just
it's a contrast. I think that's one of the points I made.
With the entire, it just doesn't work with the backgrounds. But even more jarring than that, right? If that wasn't jarring enough, I hate the eyes in this show.
Yes, I was about to ask, what are your thoughts on the eyes?
I hate them so much. I immediately noticed it, and I was just immediately like, this looks terrible. Like, the character designs are occasionally.
I wouldn't say terrible.
I wouldn't say terrible.
Okay, stop. I have watched a few shows with very, very sparkly eyes, and I would have. Sparkly eyes have grown onto me for a bit, I guess, to an extent, and to me, this looks. I wouldn't say amazing, but it's good. It's
I like it. Well, there's one character. There's
one character that has a very different eye. Different eye design.
Well, I was gonna say there's one character who I think it doesn't work the best on, and we'll get to that because I imagine that Crunchy and I will probably have, and maybe you as well, Vlusky, will share a similar criticism about this show. But as far as the eyes goes, like especially on Shikimori, I think it looks really good on her. Maybe I can understand if it would be distracting to some how it's like her eyes are almost like a piercing, it's like shining blue. But I think it just adds to her appeal.
It's like one of those memes, like it was like one of those memes where it's like anime eyes, but it's just stick men. I guess that's the best comparison I can draw, where like the eyes are really detailed when they're not as, and then the rest of the show is not as detailed.
I just really like how sharp they make her look, especially when she's going into her cool mode.
Her cool mode, Stare. Yes, Izumi, I see you. Don't put don't do self-deprecation for the 5th time this week again.
I'm gonna try real quick to put into words why I don't like the eyes. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it effectively.
It's something, like, I'm describing art style. I still can't do it.
Like, the eyes almost, like, fade out into the white of the eye, like the iris almost like almost like a gradient there. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. The eyes are way too detailed in all the wrong ways. So it just
I think that's only with the blonde with Hachimitsu, right? Because she's got like the gradient glazed over eyes.
Hachimitsu. No.
No, I like Hachimitsu's eyes.
Hachimitsu has its own issues. No, not issues, but it has its own character. She's made to stand out. So yeah, but that's the point. Is I think Crunch is not talking about Hachi. I mean, like, yeah, it's like
I was actually looking at Shikimori's eyes when I was describing that.
Yeah. It's very I'm looking at her too. Yeah.
Once again, hard to put into words.
I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm going to take a wild guess that they also don't like the fact that the thing has like the pupils, like the dark eyes in there has middle, like very dot there, and then it has like white, like another black outline. Other side of it. No, am I too descriptive? Or
I know what you're getting at. And yeah, I think that's part of the eyes just feeling like they have too much detail for the character designs. Like, here, let me pull up something from New Game just to have a reference, because that's
all right. I think I remember like referencing New Game's eye in one of my arts before. All right, let me just pull it up, honey.
Like New Game
while you're pulling it up,
voice crack.
Yes.
I actually have
while you're pulling it up,
the image right now.
Okay.
All right.
While you're posting it in the chat,
right,
I think
what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, the eyes. I think the reason that they work for me so well is because, like I said, when they go into the cool mode, it makes her stand out even more, and it's definitely because her confidence is definitely the most appealing factor to her for me. It also helps that she's really fucking hot. Well, she's cute when she needs to be, but when she's in a cool mode, she is 100%. Ridiculously hot.
Her selling point, 100%. Yes.
When she's got her, when she's like tying her hair back, and every time she like saves Izumi's life, and then just confidently pretty much asserts her dominance all over him by being like, you only need to be by my side, and just like stares at him with the confidence of like a female shonen protagonist. Like that, that's the good shit.
That's a good shit. All right, there's this one scene that I just remembered. I just come up in my head. She's like she's tying her up into a ponytail, and then Izumi says out there, "Who is that handsome girl there?" And then Neko is like, "Hey, yeah, she's her girlfriend." Bro.
No, it's not even that he says girl. He says guy because he's so enamored by how awesome she is. That's one of the bits that He thinks she has all the confidence of a man. And it's like, no, this is the woman who is in possession of this rare trait. Unbeheard of women.
Okay, so Crunchy pull it up. Yeah,
this
one
image
thing
vindicates me so hard, because the eyes in New Game are amazing, and they don't have nearly that level of just uncanny valley detail that the eyes in Shikimori have.
All right, let me try to describe it for you. So it's hang on, okay. So in New Game, the pupils, like the dark bit in the middle of it, is actually like so one bit it's way bigger. So I think that's like adding the amount of like reducing the amount of quote unquote creepiness of it. I guess is that right?
Yeah, I think you've got it right.
All right, sweet. And then also I'm gonna take another assume that you the shading, like the shine, like the highlight, the white dot. New Game is like it's on off to the side, while on Shikimori, and I'm looking at the key visual here because I don't have the episode pulled up. It's straight up. It's like it's not. It's a characteristic. I'm just describing it.
Yeah, it's just like more tastefully done.
Yeah, it's
shading,
more tastefully done on.
Whereas like
I can tell it's a lot more polished.
The best word I can use to describe the eyes in Shikimori are fucking astral. Like, does that make
I'm going
sense?
to check.
I kind of get what you're saying. She does have you know what it is? She has the modern Kirby eyes. You know how like especially the box art for Kirby Star Allies on the Switch, Kirby just has the fucking galaxy in the reflection of his eyes. That's what she has.
I did not know that.
I'm
her
going to
eyes
quickly
are
pull it up.
fucking supernovae. Like,
I kind of dig it.
I don't.
Yeah, okay,
now that I'm looking at it
eyes.
as you're describing how like it gradients and tapers off into the rest of her eye, like there's not
a
distinct outline that separates her iris from her cornea. I kind of see what you're saying. Does not bother me enough because I'm getting lost in their fucking space supernova eyes, dude.
All right, I'm going to quickly pull up my magnum opus Bang Dreams since like the thing has like very notoriously very shiny. It's like the thing that I think that's the thing that made me tolerate just the shine in this. All right, okay, okay, sorry. All right, the eyes in Bang Dream are a lot wilder. Like there's this one it's literally shaped like a star, and then there's this one that's just like it's a full fucking landscape in there. But Shikimori is not that bad. I think it's you know what? I think it's I personally like it. It's okay. I think one bit that I don't like, it's slightly out of. Okay, one bit that I don't like is just the way how it translates the blur between the white bit and the blue bit. What do you call the white bit?
The cornea. I'm pretty sure.
Like no, yeah. Like the blur in there is the bit that I don't like. I don't quite vibe with, since I'm really used to them being like really sharp, basically.
Yeah, there's a lack of a distinct outline.
Yeah, there is one. It's not distinct, and it feels like someone there just blur, like put in 0.2 into the blur parameter in Photoshop or something. But other than that, I'm going.
Can we also, while you're trying to find that Bang Dream shit, can we also talk about how her hair is literally the perfect shade of pink?
All right, I like that shade of pink.
And how it like brings out her eyes.
I'm not sure if I can necessarily agree with that. I don't hate the shade of pink, but
I like the pink. I feel like okay. So
in a show that's more visually consistent on the whole, I think I could like the pink. In this show, I don't. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, even on its own, even like if you would just put her against a transparent background, you wouldn't adore the pink of her hair.
I wouldn't adore it. I wouldn't have any issues with it, but I wouldn't adore it.
Come on, it's pastel pink. It's a good color.
It is a good color.
No, okay. I just about blue and pink. Blue eyes and pink. Blue and pink is like the two of my top most favorite colors, and Shikimori just stole both of it. And yeah, that's just a thing I like to mention.
I'm looking at the Bang Dream that you sent, and I'm like, those are just pretty standard eyes to me.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they're not good eyes like New Game, but I honestly. And it's hard to say. I'd say I don't hate them like I do Shikimori's, but they're nothing to me.
Yes, and yeah, fair enough. It's not exactly my favorite bit of their art style, to be honest.
I think the character designs for this show are pretty great across the board. I'm incredibly surprised that the male friend of Izumi has a fucking fang. Because how often do you see a fang on a male character?
Not every day, I'd imagine. Not every day, imagine. Okay, so one other thing. I tend to not like male character designs. No, not like is a strong word. I tend to be indifferent about it because, well, I'm straight, and I tend to not get attracted.
There's nothing necessarily sexual about
nothing wrong with that,
preferring.
No. It's not nothing sexual. It's like a pattern actually. I don't like as many male character designs as I used to, but Izumi is like one of the characters I actually like. I like her. I like his.
What?
I like his color.
Yeah, it's okay. No, that one is. I was actually going to tie this into one greater point. I was gonna go through every character design, and be like, oh yeah, the green hair girl. I really like how sharp her hair is, and how it brings out her toothy grin. We already talked about Hachimitsu. We might have differing thoughts on Shikimori. I think she's great. Right, Izumi, on the other hand,
Izumi's design
is
sucks.
not particularly. I wouldn't say it sucks, but it brings me to a greater point as a whole. Izumi's the weak link of this show, and that's kind of a problem when he's one of the two main characters.
All right, that's interesting. I just like it. It's kind of becoming a pattern here. I'm liking things alone, and y'all just.
Alright, so the problem with Izumi, he is a step above your average light novel protagonist, and that is a massive problem.
I guess he has, a semblance of a personality. He's kind of, to quote my Tony Kaku video, he has a bit of pusillanimity to him. Which is to say, he's a bit of a blushing feminine boy. You could.
He's a soft boy slightly. Cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
soft boy.
But it's very, very. It's like that hint of an aftertaste of that trait. So it's not it's not enough to make him interesting.
He looks like the type of guy who, if he was the protagonist of a isekai light novel anime, I'd be like, "Yep, that checks out. There's no issues here."
Pretty much. It's that kind of design. Another thing he has going for him in terms of, well, this isn't really a personality trait, but he basically has bad luck syndrome, like so many characters seem to have for some reason. Where basically, wherever he goes, stuff just fucking falls on him. Yeah. And it's done for comic relief, and so that Shikimori has an excuse to protect him from stuff, all the time. But it's not a personality trait.
No, yeah, it's not a personality trait. It's just a quirk.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
And it's honestly, if I were to be more cynical, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, it
kind of is
100%.
But I have to mention that because that's basically, aside from that,
as far as his character goes.
Yeah,
exactly. So later. Later in the series, I think Shikimori describes it a bit on why she wants to be Izumi's girlfriend. It's because of how much bad luck he experiences. Well, he knows what pain feels like, basically, and that's why she wanted to protect him. Is because he would understand a lot of it. And
are you implying that Izumi is the only person in the world to feel pain?
No. I'm on I don't understand. No, what I mean was he seems like he would have understood it the most, I guess, in the series. That's more than an average person that doesn't have the bad luck syndrome thing. But this is one of the bits. It's one of the things that he has. It's implied. It's not exactly. They tell it, not show it, but that it's a thing, I guess. I'd like to point out.
My favorite moment of him design-wise is when he's in the second episode. He gets hit in the face with a soccer ball and has to be taken into the school infirmary by Shikimori. And she brushes his hair up on his forehead and then sees a scar, in that space, a pretty decently huge one's covered up by his bangs, and I was looking at it I'm looking at him with that scar and with his hair up like that. I'm like, this design's actually pretty nice to look at, and I'd much rather be looking at this than just the blandness that he usually is.
I was not witness to the scar because I did not watch episode 2. But
apparently he has scars all over his body from all the events
because his bad
transpired with his bad luck. A truck crashed into his house at one point, and that caused the scar on his forehead.
Yes.
I really like scars on characters. So
scars are fucking rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, scars tell a story. Irrelevant.
I relate to it because both of my elbows look terrible because I have a huge ass scar on both of them because I was a dumbass 12-year-old who always fell on pavement, so I relate to it.
Yes. Partly.
Izumi has one interesting character trait going for him, and it's like the most obvious one that you could do in a show like this. He's worried that he might not be good enough for his girlfriend.
Yes, the thing.
And it's like it's something. It's like there's a bit of substance to this character. It's not necessarily original or groundbreaking, but it's something.
I was reading Ojo Jojo lately, alright? Greatest rom-com of all time, by the way. That show, or that manga, also had it, but before they introduced that, the characters were already interesting. It's like, that on its own isn't really an interesting personality trait to me, because it's just so overdone. Like, even Ojo Jojo did it. But it's like, Ojo Jojo's characters are interesting without it.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
okay, you know what? Okay, I'm going to like break my own opinions here because personally, I like that trait done better in Komi. I think like Tadano has one of those things.
Tadano has more personality than Izumi. No,
has more personality. Yeah, he has more personality, but like he had like that trope, like, hey, am I good enough? Not exactly that. It's like he's doubting whether or not Komi would be friends with him. But
well, he gets over that after the first episode because he realizes he's the only person who'll listen to him and listen to her and actually. And then she is like pretty much the only one. She's the first person that she has a genuine conversation with, even if it's through the chalkboard scene, which is still incredible.
Hang on. Have you? Okay, partial spoilers. Have you seen the rest of Komi?
I've only seen the first episode, but I do plan to watch.
All right, all right. I do you mind if I spoil it?
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I can just predict it. Someone is saying, you know how hated Tadano becomes since he's like the only one that's close to Komi, and it's like everyone's like, hey, why this idiot instead of me? All right, now you recognize that trait. Like, have you seen?
Yeah, like, I knew that would happen in the shows with the fucking yandere girl that everyone hates.
All right, so the yandere girl fucking kidnaps Tadano and give him death threat and just fucking tortures him all day. And then the next day, since like Shikimori I mix names up. Komi like saved him and everything, right? And then the next day, Komi's like, hey man, I like you, but I don't want you to get hurt. Is it really okay? And then Tadano's like, yeah, it's because I wanted to protect you. That's all. And yet I just like that bit more. He has more things going on, and he has a reason. He has a reason to be. And actually, I think that exact line of like, "Hey, is it okay for you to love me because of how I am?" I think that exact line, I was like that exact conversation also happened in Shikimori. I think it's at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, because the sign's about to fall on it, and then she badass fucking roundhouse kicks it out of the air. And then I have no idea how heavy that sign is, by the way, because it makes a pretty loud thud when it hits the ground. But I will accept that Shikimori can solo all of my favorite characters.
Alright, so then the exact same answer. I want to protect you because I want to, and that. As much as I like this show, alright, I think Komi just did that trope better, I guess. I think that's how you go.
And if you want to talk about the most appealing aspect of the show, it's about two characters who, get this, are actually already in a relationship. We don't have to worry about this, will they, won't they? They actually love each other. And we get to see what their relationship is actually like when they're together, instead of wondering what it could be like.
I consumed...
It's actually one of the...
I consumed another piece of media with a very similar hook to that.
Oh yes, I think I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I'm not gonna even hint at what it is, because when I realized that it was that kind of media, I was like so excited beyond belief and instantly decided it was amazing. And so,
is it a show from the season?
Thinking back,
was it Kubo? Was it Kubo-san? No, no.
I'm not.
All right. Okay.
I'm not even gonna hint at it because I was blown away by it. But to have that and then like that further devalues Shikimori even to me, because it's like,
well,
that was the one thing it had.
I would like to know what it is so I
something-
could get a frame of reference.
Yeah, please
All
tell
right,
me.
fine.
Since
Ojo
apparently my
Jojo.
guess is wrong.
Okay.
Oh.
See,
Alright,
I
I
haven't
don't
read
have-
it yet. I need to read it.
Okay, I also don't have a point of reference.
I'm sorry for spoiling that, because that genuinely had my
it's
jaw
okay.
wide
It's
open.
okay.
But
I
Ojo
won't gonna
Jojo
read
is
anyway.
that kind of manga, and I really.
Well, see, that's just a
that
selling
just
point.
did
You
it
should have
better.
opened
Yeah.
with that.
Oh.
You should have
Alright.
just shielded it there. You should have shielded it right there and there.
Well, I didn't know. I thought
Uh.
Ojo Jojo was gonna be a will they won't they, but then they cut the will they won't they short, like really short.
Yes.
So to me, it was a
just
plot twist.
Yeah, it's just a massive rush of dopamine every time Izumi and Shikimori are just being cute to one another.
I think okay.
One of my favorite moments is
That-
when they're looking to find where their classes are and hoping they'll be in the same class, and Izumi is like praying real hard, like out loud in front of her, kind of embarrassing her. And then he like celebrates out loud when he sees that they're in the same class, and then Shikimori's like trying to play it off all cool. It's like, oh, isn't that something? Well, I'll look forward to seeing you in class. And then when she thinks that he's gone and walked away, she outbursts in celebration. She's like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And then
That's what sold me on the show. That's what sold me on the show.
It's just the serotonin. Look, and
It's
not to
not
say
that it's good.
that's gonna be my only source of serotonin this season. I'm gonna get that shit probably on the weekly from Spy X Family as well. But if more serotonin sources is only a good thing.
Yeah. It's just pure. I mean, that's a good. The good bits about the show is that it's charming. I know. I just remember that it's literally the opposite of what Crunchy said in the beginning. But I like the charm. I like the good vibes that this emits. Even if it's not as deep. Even if it doesn't have like good many arcs or something. I like plenty. I like a chill show in my feed too. And it's one of it. Alright.
It's not plot. It doesn't look like it'll get plot oriented until much later. The opening promises some cool angst, which I hope it follows through on. It looks like Izumi was a bit of a sad, abused boy as a child.
I'm praying to God that will be talked about later in the episode, and Shikimori fell in love or wants to protect Izumi.
Even young Shikimori looks like she's ready to fucking throw hands with all those kids at what I assume was like her elementary school or some shit.
I am hoping for the best.
The opening in general is very fucking good. One of the best of the season. Very fun, very bouncy, very cute.
The song itself, it's not for me, but the ideas of the direction it has, like the visuals it has, and it's one that I like it.
All right. One thing I want to say about the opening: Shikimori's cuter when she has her hair bushy and unbrushed.
Yeah, I know. I mean, dude, I said while I was watching the show, like. The masculine urge to just screenshot every frame that Shikimori is just on screen in the show at all times.
That's going to be an issue because Shikimori is allegedly a very healthy kid since she has a good schedule, she has a good sleep schedule, and she does her school and everything.
All the fucking outfits that she was in the opening. Gives me big Kitagawa vibes, and I'm living for it.
I just rewatched the opening. That the bit where she has hot eyes.
She always has hot eyes, especially in the opening.
H-E-A-R-T eyes.
H-A-W-T, hot.
Yeah, hot. Yeah, hot eyes. Goddamn, why is English hard? I have the colors there too.
We spent a long time on Shikimori, and we probably should move on.
No. I have one more thing to say about it. The ending, the style of the ending. I really like it.
Great.
It's very cute.
It's more pop city punk
Yeah, from City Punk, and also, I'm going to take a wild guess. It's like also Rhythm Heaven Inspired. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because Yuki Nakashima sang it, and and her vocals sound. I really like her vocals. It's my personal pleasure. Also, and it's really nice to see her doing stuff outside of the group. I think like one look at the role she did will get an idea of where I know her from and why I like her.
I definitely like
Bang Dream or D4DJ or some shit.
Yes, it's Rosalia. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Bang Dream. All right. Okay. One more thing. I think I remember you saying that you like J-pop and J-rock. Before this. Yeah. Have you heard? Yeah, Rosalia. I want to give a shout out to Rosalia. They're like the one. Don't ignore the game, ignore the anime. Just go to their Spotify and take a listen to some of their songs. Anyway, that's it. I was going to say.
Crunchy, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I also like the style of the ending.
Yeah. It reminded me of the Dress Up Darling ED. It doesn't look. I wasn't in love with the style quite as much, but as I was with that. But ironically, Izumi is showing the most personality in the ED than the entirety of the show. At the very end, where after Shikimori's dragging him all out of the way of all the harm that's trying to be done to him, he steps in the way of a soccer ball that's about to hit her in the face, and then when he looks back at her and smiles with that bloody nose, that has Izumi with more personality shown on display than any of the 2 episodes that I watched. And like that's kind of weird.
Right now. Yeah, that does have a lot of personality. It's just that his actual character is bad.
I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just it's bland. It's missing a. He doesn't have a goal outside of trying to be good enough for his girlfriend, which is the most basic thing you could do for this kind of character.
I mean, in my eyes, bland is bad, but semantics.
Yeah. Also, okay. I briefly mentioned that I feel like it is a Rhythm Heaven inspired. I'm really looking at it. It's literally synced to the music.
Yeah, it is.
The obstacles.
It's synced like a rhythm game. I was trying my hardest to find who the artist of this ED was. Kind of like how the Dress Up Darling ED had its own animator for the entire ending sequence and artist. I was trying to see if this was like done in house by Doga Kobo, or if they did something similar and got someone on like Pixiv or something to make this. But I couldn't find anything, so I can only assume that it was done in house.
It's very cute. Yeah, it's a style turn, and it's a good style. I like it. I like the sketchy. I like the manga-like style, and also the Rhythm Heaven bit. All right.
Hey, the last few notes that I have before we move on is that I noticed that Izumi got excited seeing the nape of Shikimori's neck, and I got a flashback to that one scene from the last episode of Dress Up Darling. I just thought that was kind of cute.
I'm trying to remember what scene you're referring to there.
Literally the one where Kitaga was like, so Gojo, so you're the type of guy who gets excited by seeing the nape of a girl's neck.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then Gojo actually reveals himself to be that. She's like, wait,
that
seriously? And she gets all excited from it.
Yeah, I remember that now. All right.
Being bad translates to being cute. Very based of Shikimori to admit that incompetent women are the most appealing.
Fair.
True enough. All right.
Shikimori is implied to be down to fuck with Izumi in the second episode, which is yet another appeal to me in particular.
That just hit. Okay, that just hit like an ocean wave. Oh my god.
All right,
that entire bit is. Oh my god. I love that bit.
Neon. If you watch Shikimori, right? If you continue watching it and they do fuck, then I will
let you know.
Shikimori instantly. I will take back everything I said and watch
this
entire show.
It's a will they won't they show again.
I have seen a couple clips of later episodes. There's one where Izumi's looking at this hot girl in a bikini advertisement at a clothes store, and that inspires Shikimori to want to buy that outfit, so he looks at her like that. And then there's an episode where they're in the beach episode, she's eating, I forget what it was, I think it might just been a strawberry, but she's eating something in a very sexual manner, and like looking, giving Izumi the side eye as she does the side eye doomy eyes, and it's like, it's so fucking apparent that she wants his dick.
You gotta tell me if it happens.
I'll let you know.
Right, if the fucking scene happens, right? If the fucking scene happens.
Chowder, that pink girl pussy got me questioning my loyalty to Rome. Alright, that's all my notes on Shikimori. I think it's one of the best of the season.
Mid.
Else?
Yeah, okay.
5 out of 10.
It's good. I like it. Alright, that's it. That's all for me.
Alright, so now we'll move on to a show I'm in two minds about this one. A Couple of Cuckoos. Crunchy, I'll let you take this one.
So I watched this literally like an hour and a half ago or something like that. So it's basically about this guy who was switched out at birth and ended up
just
being
like our
given
fans.
to and ended up being given to the wrong family. And so he eventually, they figure out the mix-up and he gets to meet his real family. However, on the way, he meets this girl. All right, and they talk together. She's a bitch. And then
she's a bitch.
She's a bitch. That's it. She's a bit full stop.
And so they eventually form some sort of, it's difficult to call it a friendship, but they appreciate each other, kind of. And then he goes to meet his family, and dun dun dun, she's the person he was mixed up with at birth. And they'll fall in love and fuck by the end of the season, probably.
And they're engaged.
God
yeah,
bless.
They're also engaged.
Amen.
So what did y'all think about this one?
I don't have much. Yeah, you first.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, this one was a bit of a roller coaster, because I thought going into it, I thought I was gonna hate it, and then I was kind of being reaffirmed as the longer it went along. And then it took some weird upturns at points, and then we took some downturns, and it kept going up and down and up and down. It's like a zigzag, like it's a stock market line
stock
of
market,
quality.
literally Bitcoin.
Well, if we're talking Bitcoin nowadays, at the time of recording.
I just remembered what happened. Alright, never mind. To me, this is okay. So before this, I come home from a trip. This is one I watched in the middle of the car, trying to like do stuff before my phone runs out of battery. And this one is, I don't have much to say about it, but I like it. I guess it's not particularly stand out, but there are bits that I like. I can't describe it now, but yeah.
I like the premise. That's about the ends of the thing. Oh, and also it looks good. The visuals are very, very nice.
I was surprised by how good.
All right,
this
is the one that I'm a bit indifferent about. Yeah, the visuals.
It's not particularly outstanding, but it's I'm not a big fan of the character art. I will say I'm not a big fan of the designs and the art, but as far as everything else goes, it's pretty decent.
I'm actually gonna look up the show so that I can look
pretty decent.
at it.
Pretty decent. You say. All right. For me, I'm indifferent about it. It doesn't look particularly good, but it doesn't look particularly bad. It just exists. There are a few bits that I think are a bit too creepy. Overall, it's just it has an art style.
I think the art quality is fine, and I think the characters are about as expressive as they could be given their designs, but I don't like the designs all that much. Particularly the main character. I was ragging a lot on the design of Izumi from Shikimori. This is even worse. Like, he's basically a harem protagonist, but if they got a really good animation studio to make him as expressive as that design could be, but at the end of the day, it's still that design, so it's like, you can't really... It has its limitations.
There's not much you can do.
Yeah,
I think
even if you do get good people to render him, still limited.
I don't like his... You know what? I don't like his hair. His hair is just like 3 segments. That's like... It has that one pointy segment down the forehead, and then... like 3 segments, like the 2 segments on the side, 1 in the middle. I'm not a fan.
I'm currently looking at it. He looks like the sort of guy I doodle when I don't know what to draw.
Yeah, it looks like his hair was drawn on with a Sharpie.
Yeah. I'm saying that as in like he's so basic.
The opening of the show, I did find playful. I think between this and Shikimori, and of course other shows that have done similar things like Rent a Girlfriend, I think smartphone-based openings are becoming their own subgenre at this point.
Yeah, it's like a thing now. Wodakoi also did that for its ending, didn't it? Or was that?
It did it for its opening.
Oh, for its opening too.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because they held the phones up while they did like the finger dances, and, like the motions with their hands. And I did like their dancing in the opening and how they would set up and cut the camera and do their own little expressions. And I think my favorite one was when the main guy tried to do a dance after his 3 friends, and he falls over and they all lean over and laugh at him.
Yeah, that got a laugh out of me.
I imagine that the camera, and then if the very next shot would be, you know, the meme of Pepe the Frog with the spilled lunch tray and the tears, looking up with tears in his eyes.
I have not seen that one.
My god!
I know Pepe, not that exact same frame.
All right, hold on. I need
quickly looking at meme folder, scrolling.
Frog, lunch tray,
scanning.
Well, you're looking that up. Am I the only one who was surprised that this wasn't Cloverworks?
It was. I was surprised. It does feel like a Cloverworks show.
I wasn't the type that immediately recognize a style of a studio. So
here, let me show you the exact thing that made me think it was Cloverworks. I just sent it. That kind of smile. That is a Cloverworks smile. That appears everywhere in Dress Up Darling.
Oh, right. Okay, I just remembered. I just remembered something. Okay.
It does remind me of Akabi a little bit.
Yeah. Look. What was it?
Right.
I need to.
The Pepe meme is funny.
All right. Oh yeah. That one. Fuck. Okay. So Cloverworks. I just remembered. Yeah. My Dress Up Darling was Cloverworks too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have literally in my notes. I just reread my notes. The art style, I'm just gonna read it for everybody. The art style reads like it's nerfed Bisque Idol. I don't hate it. I just didn't like it either. That's the so about the Cloverworks thing. Yeah, turns apparently yeah.
So apparently we all had that thought.
Yeah. I just didn't know Cloverworks exactly, but apparently we have the same thought.
Well, fellas, I don't know about you, but I love it when my perceived suicide attempt saves are punchlines for boob grab jokes. I think that's the best way to endear yourself to any character.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh,
okay.
Wow. Yes.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the story with this. I've heard good things about the Couple of Cuckoos manga, right? So I went into this thinking, this is going to be a good show. And then we get to the double whammy of tropes. We get the misunderstood suicide attempt, which happened in Remake Our Life. It's happened a few other shows too, and it's like a thing. I didn't know it was a thing.
It's not much of a trope.
Apparently a thing.
It's kind of a thing. Not nearly as much as what follows after.
Yeah, what follows elicited an audible groan from me.
It's a thing.
Audible.
Yeah, no, I was ready to
groaned.
This
I was ready to
thing.
turn the episode off right then and there.
Oh god, I okay. This if this is the one that I had to watch on like on an actual session, this is like, oh damn, do I have to go through this? I think this had a bit of an edge since I literally doing nothing, sat in the back of the car with all the stuff that we had to bring, and I had nothing else to do. So I just watched the entire thing.
Okay, so my next note after the accidental groping scene, which made me want to punch myself in the face, was when she said like, "Okay, you're gonna pretend to date me so that I don't have to
right.
to engage this guy I haven't met." And my note is ... So it's Rent-A-Girlfriend, huh?
Hey!
Oh,
It's
no.
Rent-A-Girlfriend, but at least the guy is not paying out of his own pocket to allow
It's
himself
Rent-A-Girlfriend.
to be cucked.
It's
True.
Rent-A-Girlfriend, but with an actual plot.
This is I will say out of pocket. This is better than Rent-A-Girlfriend. It is
Yeah.
it is healthier for
haven't-
society than Rent-A-Girlfriend.
I haven't seen Rent-A-GF, but I can only assume that this is
The only
at
thing
least
Rent-A-Girlfriend has over the show
pointable.
is the visuals.
Yeah, visuals. I genuinely just enjoy looking at. I
don't
just enjoy looking at
remember
Rent-A-GF.
about Rent-A-Girlfriend's visuals to say it's better. I really like.
It's literally
the
the only
good
good thing about the show.
So.
It looks good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it ended up not being. It ended up not going as hard into the like pretend to date me plot line as I thought it would upon hearing that line. So it at least won't be that asinine.
But hey, the guy, I will give him credit. This guy, unlike most like weird harem rom-com protagonists of his ilk, actually kind of has a bit of a backbone and is like outright calling the girl an idiot to her face multiple times and like standing up for himself. There's this one part where he punches her stalkers from her social media in the face and be like, yeah, don't fuck with her, by the way, you guys are creepy and weird, don't behave like weirdos. If this dude saw Kazuya from Rent-A-Girlfriend, he would deck his ass, lay him out on the street, make him bite the fucking curb.
100%.
Okay, so I think I would really like the main character of this show if he had like an actually good design. Because he has a personality, he has a backbone.
He has more
was-
personality than
Yeah.
Izumi, and I hate
Yeah,
that.
he does.
Exactly. Okay.
He has a worse
I
design.
wrote
Oh,
that
yeah,
in my
that's
notes. I was like,
Oh my god.
why do I like him more than Izumi?
So he's basically like the super, smart study-holic. All he does is study.
He's got no
to use
friends.
the line from Tony Kaku, he studied until his libido withered away to nothing. And but he was raised by these like I have it in my notes. I'm trying to find the
The family that switched
Yeah,
that was switched with
delinquent-
him.
Yeah,
delinquents.
His family he was basically raised by delinquents. So he knows how to punch a guy in the face too. So he does
I
have
love-
a little bit of that.
I love that his line after he does that is like, my family has this saying, if you ever get into a fight, win. And like, hell yeah.
That's
That
so
is
badass. Like that was so out of place.
There's more
so badass.
personality
Like,
in that one line than Izumi has in his entire 2-episode run of the show.
Yeah,
Gotta
exactly.
agree though,
Shikimori thus
actually.
far, and that infuriates me.
Yeah.
Blue
He
better.
had a design that wasn't
Oh, come
ass
on, man.
cheeks.
Yeah, the design. Okay.
Okay, so
I will
wanna oh, go ahead.
I wanted to recount as best I can the roller coaster I had going through the episode and my opinion shifting up and down. Right out of the gate, I was getting crippled by the dialogue. The immediate offender to me was when his little sister, quote unquote, because from the other family, the non-blood related one, is like coming up to him as he's making breakfast, and she's like, hey, save the biggest egg yolk for me, bro. And he's like, hell, and like, no way, I need it. The biggest, the thing, I forget what the ingredient he said, but like the biggest egg yolk is good for memory. And then her response is, oh man, it's that kind of loner talk that means you have no friends. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? What does wanting the biggest egg yolk have to do with having no friends and being a loner?
Oh.
Like, is this the
that
kind of
dialogue
retard
is-
logic we're operating on?
It was a little out there. Like, I did notice that, but it's not the worst offender I've ever seen of that. I didn't hate it.
It made for a bad first impression, because I thought then the rest of the show's dialogue would be something similar.
It's kind of like My Senpai is Annoying, where every character mentions how energetic she is and how much she loves work over and over again in the first 5 minutes of the show, but then it's actually not that bad afterwards.
Then they have the little sister crying about like, oh no, what if you go to that other family instead? What if you leave us? Oh no, she's crying. I've known this character for 2 minutes. I don't even remember what her fucking name is, but she's crying. My feelings, I feel them not being manipulated. Oh, I feel it failing in front of my eyes.
I actually felt something from that scene. It's not that, like, obviously there's a limit to it.
It doesn't hit as hard.
Because
it doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah, we've known this character for barely any time. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was
I think that's set up for me. It's set up a premise basically.
yeah.
It's like, but they play it so
doesn't-
serious and so straight after just 2 minutes of knowing this character.
That one I don't like. That one I don't agree with.
And then we get to the fucking suicide thing, and it's like her justification for it is weird too, because she's a social media superstar, I guess. And she said she's doing it to get back at her parents for.
I just remember that. I just remember what that was.
Yeah, she said she was trying to do it to get back at her parents for the arranged marriage, and thought like, I'm trying to like understand what her thought process was. So she was going to fake killing herself. She was just gonna post a video of her sitting on top of a bridge about to jump off, and then post that to
she was gonna
to social
show
media and like tag her parents, I guess.
Yeah, she was gonna show how much the arranged marriage was like emotionally hurting you. I think, or hurting her. I think that was the idea.
My question. No, okay. My question was if she. Okay, my question was if her parents bought that, she did upload that and her parents bought that, what will she do after it? Like, she can't just like walk back home.
And it's not also she's not just sending that to her parents. She said she was gonna post that to her social media.
Online. She's
that has
posting
a
on
ton
SMS.
of followers.
What was that for? Like,
Okay,
is internet cloud that bad?
I think her logic was that she would post her being sad not only to her parents but to social media, so that there'd be like this large public outcry against her parents for making her go through with an arranged marriage.
Yeah, but in that case, she's a fucking bastard for manipulating her
That is
followers
true.
to do
That is true. Okay,
that's where my mind
Let's
went. Because
quickly...
I was trying to break down in my head what her game plan was, and I came to that conclusion. I was like, okay, I hate her for doing that. I want this character to suffer now. She should have jumped off the fucking
I hate
bridge.
on multiple levels too.
All right, what's her name? Because I need to
do not.
A couple of
I have it pulled up. Erika Amano. I don't know.
Erika Amano.
Is a...
I think. I think it's
yeah.
Erika
That
Amano.
sounds right.
It's Erika.
Okay, so voice crack. I hated her. She gets a little bit better as the episode goes on, but I just quickly was like, fuck this girl. All right, so in Mushoku Tensei, this is a bit of an aside, but in Mushoku Tensei, there's this girl named Eris, and you're supposed to hate Eris when you first see her. I didn't. I'm a very tolerant viewer when it comes to characters being assholes to each other. And I actually didn't hate Eris at first. She wasn't particularly likable, but I thought she was.
Didn't she straight up like beat up the main
straight
character?
Up,
yeah, she beats people up. She's basically designed to be the worst person you could possibly imagine. She like beats people up for literally no reason. She doesn't want to do any work. She yells at everyone for no reason. She's basically like the worst possible person you could be.
American Congress.
Put into a character. And I didn't hate her. I hate Erika. Like, I hate her so much. All right,
because you know what she does after she tries to manipulate all her followers, right? And she's trying to get I only have his name down because he is the best character of the show, Nagi. she's trying to, after being like, hey, be my fake boyfriend, huh? And she's like, no way, bitch. And as he's about to walk away, she's like, oh yeah, look at, and she pulls out the video of him saving her life. And she's like, and then she says like, oh yeah, you could definitely tell you're squeezing my tits there. What if I send this to your parents? And then also, no, not that. She said, I'm gonna upload this and tag the really super elite prep school that you're in. And then it's like, he's exclusively trying to save you. And she's like, oh yeah, good luck trying to explain this one away. You can see in the video he's yelling stop, and she's sitting on the bridge. So like it's gonna be very easy to explain that. Like, oh yeah, I thought this girl was gonna kill herself, but then I realized she's just this attention whore.
Okay, I'm gonna take an objective
her followers.
I'm going to take a wild guess, and she's going to cut that bit off, but that doesn't solidify it.
Well, if she were to do that, that makes her more of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, so like, oh yeah, really cool. What a likable character this girl is. Minutes after meeting this guy, and be like, hey, go along with my crazy as shit plan to be my fake boyfriend exclusively for my benefit, or else I will sabotage your good standing that you have exclusively worked for because you don't come from a rich family. You had to work to get into this prep school. I could undo all that right now because you tried to save my life. I was about ready to like throw my monitor through my fucking window.
Okay, what's next? These two.
She made me so mad when I watched the show because she's just such a hateable.
I am not having a lit ass time.
Exactly.
Oh my god! I just had a wave of emotions, and I just remembered all the things that happened. All right, I don't think it needs any more explaining. Yeah.
Now, as the episode goes along, they do develop this weird, not necessarily a friendship, but a kind of mutual understanding in the sense that they both have family issues and are trying to sort them out in their own way. And they have this off-the-wall retard chemistry that is fun to see. It's like the kind of chemistry in a show where like you can't play this relationship straight. It would have to be for a zany off the wall comedy, kind of like a show, kind of like a Haran-san. It's like because like he's outright calling her stupid and an idiot, and she's putting him down at all points for being a loner with no friends who kind of is ugly and doesn't know how to behave in social situations. But then there's this sense of when they're making fun of each other that it stops being purely malicious, and they do it just to get closer to one another. And like especially comes to a head when he punches her stalkers and drives them away, and then she takes that to mean, all right, you've shown me how to deal with my arranged marriage family issues. Now when I meet my groom, I'll just punch him in the face real hard, and then there's no way that they'll want to marry me after that. And it's like, well, that's not the lesson you should have taken away from it, but go. And like he's like, you know what, if you're gonna do it, yeah, you go whole hog, you don't do it at all. And that comes back later when we find out that they are in fact each other's arranged marriage bride and groom. And she's like, well, you know what, I gotta stick to my word. And he's like, wait, no, the circumstances have changed. And she fucking decks him across the face.
That scene was funny. Her gaining a sort of appreciation for him over the course of the episode, that was all fine and stuff. It did
not make up for her being
it did not make it up.
Yeah, bitch at the beginning.
It does not redeem her at all.
And then the show, I was gonna be like, you know what? If the show is about like them trying to like get along and realize and falling in love with each other throughout this arranged marriage, in their off the wall, they are incompatible, but they are so far incompatible that they swing back around horseshoe theory style to being compatible with each other. It would have made for an interesting watch. And then the show immediately lost me when they set up the love triangle. Not even a triangle. It looks like a love square, a love rhombus with Nagi's rival, who is the one girl in his school that is smarter than he is, who always scores higher on their exams.
Completely forgot about her.
He's like, I promised myself I would only confess my love for her when I surpass her. And then they tease it a little bit more, and I like on the love triangle thing was already a bit much. But then when they broke me, it was when the sister character, not related by blood, mind you, was like, oh yeah, I guess he really isn't my brother. And like, you know that they're gonna fucking set up the incest. And it's like, I guess we're just gonna ignore the fact that they spent like, what, at least a decade growing up together?
Stepsister. I'm stuck.
You can't do that.
I don't
do that unless
hate
we're married.
the reveal of like a love square, or I guess it's probably gonna become a harem. Let's just say that. Let's just get that out the gate.
Yes.
I'm currently looking at the AniList recommended shows.
I was exhausted by the end of this first episode.
And like I'm looking at the recommended shows for the show and AniList, and all of them are harems. I'm just very tired, man.
It's like, it's not, aside from Erica, the show is not offensively bad, but it's too trashy for me. Now that I know the direction it's going, I can't follow along.
I didn't even bother to add this on my list. I watched it all the way purely because I was in a car and bored.
I have it on paused, and I might continue it because it does have good production values, and I think, I'm down for a love square thing shape.
If Shikimori and Izumi had a healthy version of the chemistry that Nagi and Erica have, then Shikimori would be a total knockout. But as far as like this show goes, I know how this is gonna play out. I've seen this show one too many times. I know how this is gonna end. I don't want to get on this ride anymore. I want to get off.
To me, it's Vlusky, you sound like you're about to pass out.
Yeah, I just don't. I have nothing to add. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Well, anything else you want to add to this?
No, that's really not. That's all I have to say about that show.
I think this is like one of the few shows that I
Alright.
There's like 4, and I think I just said all of them.
Alright, well, don't worry, Vlusky, if you're falling asleep now, this'll wake you up. I'm quitting heroing. Why don't you go ahead and take that one?
Oh, alright, I just forgot what happened, but it's
congratulations, you summed up the show perfectly.
Alright, sweet.
I forgot what happened.
Alright, I'm going to take a sleep now, y'all. Good night. Okay, so there's a guy, and he's a hero, but he wants to quit.
The end.
Yep, that's it. That's the show.
That's the show.
Okay, so
Alright.
I think the premise of this show is kind of funny. Alright, basically he's the... Hold on, I'm trying to see what I put for the
yeah. Crunchy also forgot to.
Okay, so I liked the premise because he basically describes his previous life, and he describes it as a generic power fantasy isekai. Where he was like, oh, I was super powerful and all my teammates were worthless, so basically shield hero. And so he's like, you know what? I got bored of that, so I'm gonna join your side. And I was yes, it's basically him.
He got bored of his carrying deadweight around, so he was gonna solo the entire demon army by himself.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be that, and I was like, hell yeah, that's hilarious. It's basically saying isekai boring. We're gonna completely subvert that, or I guess not subvert, but like we're gonna trash isekai and then be like, okay, let's do this entire new thing.
Let's make a parody of itself.
Yeah, but then it goes on,
Neon.
All right,
it goes on,
Neon.
and it goes on a little longer.
Oh, it's a little too long. It's 22 minutes too long for me.
You never let me forget that I trashed episode 2 of Dress Up Darling for taking place entirely in one room with them talking about the same thing for like 15, 60 minutes. This show is that, but somehow even more rote and boring. It's them
because it takes place all in one room.
I was like,
it's one room.
I'm gonna give it
the characters explaining the plot to each other for like 20 minutes.
I want to give it like one praise. There's this one bit where it's like pitching himself and like, yeah, this is why I should be in your team. And then the I forgot what it was, but he gets flamed or he gets burned. I get a chuckle out of that. Nothing more.
It's not.
Yeah, that was the only spark of life I felt throughout the entire episode is when he's pitching his job application to the Demon Lord, named Echidna, by the way, does not hold a candle to...
Did not care. I did not care.
Did not hold a... not to say that Echidna from ReZero is a particularly interesting character, but it's just reminded me of a... And I say this kind of backhandedly, a better show, even though it's ReZero. The only spark of life is when she's just setting him on fire and interrupting him every time, being like, and if you take a look at this graph, whoosh, die.
Kind of wanted to death of the whole show. Okay, none of that I...
If the entire episode was him trying to pitch a meeting and then every 5 seconds they would just get another blast of fire, that'd be enough to recommend it, but the show does not do that.
This is yet another... This is yet another addition to... I pointed this out in the last block of episodes too, but it's yet another addition to the isekai that set themselves up as being parodies of isekai, all Konosuba.
It's not even an isekai though, right? It's just a fantasy show.
It's one
an
of those
isekai. Yes,
I think it is kind of. Is it an isekai? I don't know.
It's that native.
It's a fantasy show. It's a fantasy show.
Where it's the term native isekai, where it's like it has all the isekai tropes, but without anyone having to get sucked into another world.
Yeah, basically that. And so it sets itself up as parodying those tropes, where it's like, this is boring, so I'm gonna join the demon team, right? But then, just like all the other attempted parodies that aren't Konosuba. It
takes
eventually
itself too seriously.
Yeah, it takes itself too seriously, and it basically has the one joke, and then everything else after that fails. It's yet another Tsukimichi where it pretends to be a parody but isn't actually a parody, and instead it embodies all the tropes it initially set out to parody. And it's like,
you want to know how fucking criminally insane I am? I watched the entire first episode on normal speed.
Oh, I did too. I'm also.
I watched it on normal speed. No. I watched it on normal speed, but I did the skip 5 second thing.
I did not skip. I did not skip. I watched the whole thing as normal.
I'm saying that you are. Yes, indeed, you are insane.
See,
okay, one more.
I don't like speeding up episodes. Like I realized this after watching enough of these episodes for the podcast. I don't like speeding things up. It just makes the episodes feel weird and janky and like passing by.
That's why I advocate for skipping 5 seconds instead of speeding it up.
So normally at this point, if I want to speed it up, I normally just say I'm just gonna drop it. But for this one, I for some reason sat through the entire conversation where he describes, all the ways he beat these generic one-dimensional characters. It's like
I'm trying to remember why.
So y'all watch the entire thing, right? What do you think of the Lolly Fox thing?
The Lolly Squirrel?
Yeah, the thing, Lily. What do y'all think of him?
That's definitely a mascot. That's definitely.
It's a pander. That's pandering. I'm going to give it that. Their design is cute. That's all about it. But there's this one line of it where she happily exclaims, "Let's get married."
Yeah.
What? And then the guy answers like, "Well, after."
Kind of washed down my back.
After you. And the guy answers like, "Well, after you've grown up," and it's like, "Hey, I want to marry now." Where did that come from? And we didn't. I'm gonna give it some props for calling my attention. But it's not a good intention.
This show, I put down in my notes.
I was just hoping that there would be another moment like the Demon Lord setting him on fire every time he tried to pitch a job and be like, okay, maybe he's gonna do that with the Demon Generals. Nope. For the next 20 minutes, it's just him recounting how he beat them. There's not a single joke to be found. I got my finger on the pulse. I'm calling it. It's dead. Time of death. 4 minutes after it started. There's nothing here.
I will give you a compliment for watching the whole thing, normal speed, no skipping. How did you do that?
I was under the, you know what it is also? It's I kind of knew that I was probably gonna hate this show because it's by EMT Squared, which is my least favorite studio out of all the studios.
Because they have
made nothing good. Let's go down the list.
Kuma Bear, that's the one I recognize.
They made the drugstore isekai.
I hate
they did. I didn't watch these ones. Kuma Bear.
Oh, I hated that one too.
I only know.
I watched Assassin's Pride. I watched the first episode of it because I think we were doing that for a podcast. Was that fall? No, that was 2019. That was before the podcast. I was just browsing shit, and I was like, "Wow, this show sucks." They did motherfucking the Master of Ragnarok and Blessing of Einerjar.
I didn't watch that. I don't recognize the title. The title alone
outside
makes
of
me
outside
it
of
is one of the ugliest
Bear,
TV animes I've ever seen in my life.
Outside of Kuma Bear, I don't know any other else of their works, and quite frankly, by the way you describe it, I don't care. And I'm looking at the like average ratings too. Yeah, no, they. Yeah,
they
made Kuma Miko. The anime is so famous that when it ended, the creator of the manga had to apologize.
Wait,
interesting.
Hold on. He apologized for the anime?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sorry that it happened this way.
You need to link that to me. I need to see that.
Wait, no, what was it? What was it?
What was it? Ends, I need to read that.
It was Kuma Miko for the show called Kuma Miko.
Kuma Miko anime apology.
That's
you'll
come on, you made me feel better.
Yeah, if you look at their studio, it is like on Mal, it's like averages of 4, 5, and 6 across the board. Literally, their only 2 shows that have higher than a 7 are, or in the 7 range, are Kuma Bear, which it also looks to be one of the more popular shows.
It sucks.
It didn't. I'll take your word for it. And I'm Quitting Heroing, which only has it's on the border right now at the 7.04, and it's on the border. It only has that high of a score because it's recent. I guarantee you, as time goes on, it will only go down. It will not go up.
On AniList, it has an average score of 67%. So, not
EMT Squared has not made a good show.
If Kuma was exactly 70%, and this one's like -3.
In the 7 years they've been a studio, they have not made a single good show.
It's not even like an 18 beats into like a toga. It's
the last note I have about this show is just that it's Shield Hero, but way worse. No, it pretends to be a parody, but then it does. This is another thing in isekai caused by Shield Hero of people who get like hardcore rejected by the new society they get transported to. Although I guess in this case it's a native isekai, but he basically he's the hero and he's super strong, but then the people he saved outcast him for being strong. So that's his true motivation for joining the evil team, where it's like the good team, they outcasted him, so he's joining the evil guys. And it's like, you know, the first episode of Shield Hero was like this double length thing that gradually built up to that moment and made you really care for Naofumi as a character and really understand his situation. And this is just exposition. Like, what part of this endears me to the character? What part of this is supposed to be fascinating? Like, it's just explaining the plot.
Oh god. Remember that thing about? Remember that like a really famous saying of "show don't tell." Yeah, throw that in the trash. Throw that in the fucking trash.
That's about it I have for this show.
About it, hopefully the next one gonna be a bit more interesting.
Throw it in the trash alongside the greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody, because I fucking hated this show even more.
Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this show, its protagonist looks exactly the same as the one from I'm Quitting Heroing.
I wrote that too! I was like, these shows are starting to blend together, dude. The kid just looks like a young version of the hero.
It's the same art style, the same design,
the same hair, the
color.
same red eyes.
Yeah, it's the
probably
same
the same outfit.
Probably.
The demon lord wants to die just like me, watching these fucking shows.
Oh god damn.
I'm not gonna lie, fellas. I made it 5 minutes into this one, and then I started skipping and did not stop skipping.
I watched the entire first episode in normal speed, just like the last one. Why?
No, this one's just a misfit of Demon King Academy, but playing it completely straight, and more of an emphasis on, I'm gonna try to make friends this time. I can't even bring the words to criticize it anymore. I have three notes on the show.
Okay, so hang on. So one of the show notes I have is that this reminds me of Hitori Bochi no Marumoto Seikatsu. Only it's nothing like that. It has none of the charming vibes. It has none of the development of like how he knows more about how to make friends. No, that doesn't happen. Not funny, is it?
I have 3 notes on the show, and I've already gone through 2 of them. The last note that I have is that they grew the girl that he ends up being friends with. They grow up together, and they're gonna enroll in magic school together. Oh my god, how could I possibly stand on all the ground they're breaking?
Oh god, I cannot wait. Oh, that's not sarcastic at all.
I have quite a few notes on this show, just because I sat through it, and what else was I gonna do except take notes? I don't want to just sit there and watch the show. I need to write about it constantly, or else I'll die of boredom. So, in my striving to survive, I did come up with a few notes about this show, and the main thing I hate about it. So, it's another native isekai, right? He's basically the Demon King. Except he can't make friends with the Demon King.
It's reincarnation, still reincarnation, so it's even more of a native isekai.
Alright, so ever since I watched Mushoku Tensei, this has infuriated me to no end. How every reincarnation story just skips by as much of the childhood as possible. They just have the main character existing for like 10 years, and apparently they like don't develop at all in that time. And, like, most of them don't even have a reason to be reincarnation stories. It feels like they just skip through as much as possible to, I guess, get to the harem aspects as quick as they can. So it's like, this Demon King, right, apparently spent the first 10 years of his life not even attempting to talk to people. Apparently. Because he, like, gets to his 10th birthday, right? He's like, now I'm gonna start talking to people and trying to make friends. Why at your 10th birthday? Why did you wait that? Like, I can understand waiting until you're like 5, because you can't even speak when you're 5.
I had friends in preschool, dude.
It's like, did you not try? Why did you wait? Why? What? Where did you grow up, right? That you were so isolated from people that you did not even attempt to make friends until you were 10 years old. Why? I don't get it. I just don't believe it. I don't buy into it at all. Like, that's just complete nonsense. These reincarnation stories all suck except for Mushoku Tensei, and it gets on my nerves. Like, Mushoku Tensei
Hang on. So, Crunchy, I don't think it's fair comparing this to Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei actually has a substance.
has effort
I'm
into
only,
it.
I'm
Yeah, it actually has an
only
effort.
comparing them in the sense that they are reincarnation stories, but like, you get, like, by the end of the first episode in Mushoku Tensei, he's like, what? Like 4, 5, something insanely young like that. You know, he gets reincarnated and then he immediately like does everything in his power to change his life. These other guys just sit around doing fuck all for like 10 years. Then they have like one episode when they're like 10. Then it immediately ages him up to like what? Like, how old is he at the end of the show? Like 16, 18, something like that. And then he immediately enrolls in magic school. Mushoku Tensei's magic school arc isn't even adapted yet because it's that late into the story. Why do these shows insist on rushing past as much of their childhood as possible? What is the point of making a reincarnation story if you're not gonna show the childhood? Like, what was the point? You might as well have just isekai'd a guy. I don't get it. That's what annoys me about this show.
You know, this whole segment is you carried this whole segment, Crunchy. It's much more fun hearing you mauled over the show than the show itself.
These reincarnation shows got me mauled, man.
Good work. Good work.
The only note that I have left to say about this show has nothing to do with it. It's just something I forgot to bring up when we were talking about Shikimori. Why the fuck does it only have a 7.07 on Mal?
Shikimori?
Yeah.
Because
I forgot to bring it up. And I'm like, that's a fucking sin.
It's not a perfect show.
It's not that. It's not that bad.
Come on,
it's mediocre. It's mediocre enough that the 7.07 makes sense to me. How about that?
Haran gets 0.3 points higher. I'm Quitting Heroing only has 0.03 points behind it.
Okay, well that's a crime. That is a crime.
I'm breathing. I'm taking deep breaths right now.
Yes, you are indeed breathing, Vlusky.
I'm going to take a quick detour to Analyst to see if it's bad there too. Okay, Shikimori is. Okay, so Shikimori is 70.
Yeah,
70
raw
exactly.
70. What the fuck was this show?
I think that's a fair score, I guess.
Reincarnated as an ordinary guy, I think.
This one had on Mal it's a 6.62.
All right, so the Mal is 64. So right, that's pretty telling, I guess. Pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like I'm done with this show already.
All right, let's talk about Squid Game.
Squid Game!
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so Tomodachi Game is the real name of this. Who's gonna talk about this? Who's gonna take it? I think Neon. Can you...
Yeah, I could take Tomodachi Game. I thought this was gonna be more like a death game, but it's less death game and more psychological torment game. I really thought lives were gonna be on the line, but I think it's just kind of social Among Us, but like with you putting your actual friendships on the line. You're trying to find out who is sus, who is the imposter.
Yeah.
It's Among Us. It's a bit okay, yeah. And I think like Among Us is a closer description of how the game works.
And then we joke about the Squid Game comparison, but then again, there is literally a talking kids doll. So,
yes.
I heard quite a bit about this show before I watched it. So apparently, I'm not sure if it's a manga or a manhwa that it's based
manga.
Off of.
I'm pretty sure it's
based off of a manga. Manga, okay.
Yes.
But anyway, people really, really like the manga that this is based off of, and people are really, really disappointed by the adaptation of the manga. At least that seems to be the general.
Is it because it does not benefit from being an anime at all? Yeah, the manga has a 8.26 on Mal. And that has 30,000
similarly high
so
score here on Analyst. That's really good. The show. I can understand. I haven't read the manga, but I can understand where they're coming from. The show is just. While I like the premise, it's not executed pretty well.
I think the execution is just passable enough, given that the show is... Alright, so the first thing I noticed about this show is that it is incredibly fast-paced. Like, things are just constantly happening. Oh, you want to characterize the main 5 characters? No time for that. We're just gonna move on, get to the premise as fast as possible.
Do it in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Do it in post.
And on the one hand, the fast pacing does mean that I was never truly bored watching the episode. At the very beginning, I was like, nothing's really happening yet. So I was a little out of it at like the very, very beginning of the show. But I mean, other than that, it just got right on and kept on going. And in that sense, I think the execution is tolerable, but it is not the type of show I can see myself getting like intimately attached to, at least yet. Maybe I want to try out the manga because that's generally perceived as being better. But yeah.
Not particularly my kind of like storytelling, but you know, if the manga is good, well then yeah, it's gonna be from based on what I've read and based on what my personal experience with this, yeah.
I'm down for some psychological angst shows. Maybe if I were to check out the manga, it'd be better because the anime is not giving me a very good impression of the story. I think, I don't know, maybe the manga does it differently, but I don't know about y'all. The show was ruined for me instantly the moment it showed us those 2 girls watching the 5 friends over the camera feed.
Yes, Hunger Games.
I didn't like that, yeah. I can't.
It's like, well, there goes any mystery then, because we know who's behind it. It's just a couple of fucking kids.
I mean, you guys are toying with everyone else. Oh yeah, good, cool.
We don't know why they're doing it, but we know who's doing it, and that's no fun.
That's yeah. Because I was kind of hoping like it would be like it's just like it is mystery. Then like who put them there, and then why they put it in. Nah. Here's the main villains. There you go. Do whatever you want about it, and they don't even do anything about it. It's like, yeah, this is funny, and move on.
People who read the manga apparently really don't like the visuals in this show, which
the visuals
because they don't exist.
The visuals don't exist. Okay, so this is like an otherworldly thing, right? Y'all. Okay, so we taking a comparison to Squid Game again. It's a completely different visual format, but to me, the visuals on there are like very, very vibrant. Like it's like like I've heard stories about it being like inspired by child play thing.
We're talking about Squid Game, right? Like the actual television show, not Tomodachi
Yeah, we're talking about the actual Squid Game show.
Okay, because I thought you were describing Tomodachi Games. Like, what the fuck show were you watching? Vibrant colors? There's like
Squid Game.
It's brown, white, and black throughout the entire Tomodachi Game.
Squid Game. No, I was hoping that if it was like a bit as vibrant as that, it is the point where like crazy vibrant colors would actually work on making it feel out of place and otherworldly.
Yeah, that's the point of Squid Game. It's supposed to have this air of childlike innocence because they're all dressed in these bright green jumpsuits, and they're in these like little children's play areas that are kind of illuminated by daylight. Meanwhile, they're getting fucking gunned down by the hundreds.
Yeah, I was really hoping that if this had that visual, if this would be like freaking, it was sold me, but it doesn't have it. So yeah.
I thought the visuals were like adequate. They're not great, but they're actually not bad. I probably wouldn't really complain about them, except that other people who read the manga are complaining about them. So it makes me think that either the manga has really, really good visuals compared to the anime, or that
this just feels like
maybe it's just
manga.
The CGI on the kid. Is that
Alright, the CGI on the kid.
I mean, honestly, of all the CGI on the kid,
actually, this is the bit where I could like, no, it's not okay. So actually, this is one of the use cases where like, they actually use CGI on the kid to make it like make it seem distinct and make it actually exceptionally creepy. I like that idea, but as a guy that actually studies how stylized CGI work, it's not the best execution of stylized shader I've ever seen. But I like that idea. It's making him.
Honestly,
you know what? You know what? For the sole reason of making him contrast with the main characters, it works. Full stop. That it works. It doesn't work well, but it works.
If something had to be CG, that is the thing that I would have wanted.
Yeah, that
to
did.
Be CG.
It's
yeah.
I'm gonna show my sense like very robotic and stuff since robots in anime, the ones that I've seen anyway, and has the most CG. Tangent. Why out of all things, I've watched Vivi the other day, and why out of all the objects, why are the spheres and the cubes are the ones that are in CG?
The Vivi Fluoride Ice song.
Yeah, Vivi Fluoride Ice song.
I've not seen that show, but I've heard that it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good, but come on, man, drawing cubes isn't that hard. I'm going out tracking.
Alright, well, back to Squid Game.
Alright, back to Squid Game.
I think like the appeal of the shows, it's trying to get us invested into the friendship of these 5 characters, which is a little hard to do considering we don't know them that well. We don't know much about their friendship aside from the fact that they are friends. And the point of these games is to try to test the bonds of their friendship, see how easily they'll break, to the point where the main characters' parents are like, literally, inside you have 2 wolves. One wolf is like, the most important thing is money. The other wolf is, the most important thing is friendship. And I'm like, you couldn't be a little more, could you be any more on the nose?
It is a very, very obvious show.
No, yeah, the show is trying to get us invested into the friendship of these 5 characters. The problem is, we don't really know them, and so it's hard to get into their... I feel like they're trying to get us told through the story as it develops, but that I feel like that's kind of a dangerous game because I'm already not invested, and now that I know that these games, who the puppeteers are, and all of the interesting mystery aspects are slowly being drained down the toilet, I'm finding myself caring less and less.
I didn't hate the execution of their friendships, but it definitely hasn't invested me necessarily into any of the characters yet. Maybe it can get interesting as it goes on, and maybe I'm not supposed to be invested in all the characters yet. So, I don't know. We'll see. That's a bit up in the air for me personally.
Yeah, I think that's something you said.
Is that it for Tomodachi Game? I thought we'd have more to say.
Aside from that,
do y'all have other things to say? I don't.
I kind of don't.
It's very on the nose with its premise.
Very on the nose. Yeah, it's the story is interesting, but yeah, we're gonna better off read.
I think this might just be one of those go read the manga forehead kind of shows.
Honestly, yeah, it seems like that, judging from public reaction.
By the reaction of the manga readers and us apparently too.
Yep.
Alright, well, next up is Dawn of the Witch, which I'm gonna have to preemptively apologize to you guys ahead of time, because I did not realize this when I added it to the podcast list, and it did not occur to me until I was watching the episode that this was a mistake.
Honestly, I watched barely any of the first episode. I watched like the first, I think, 3.
Okay, so on my document, so I have this Google Docs of things I've watched. All right, so there's this like this table here, and one of them has episodes, and for the ones I drop, I just like put in like the fraction of the episode I watched. And what is this game, Dawn of the Witch? Yeah, Dawn of the Witch. I put it at half. Okay, this is the one I dropped. Anyway, so
as the amount of episode I watched, I put in parentheses episode like 0.2 or something.
Yeah, and this is
I made it like no further than 10 minutes in, and that was with skipping.
All right, so so the more interesting thing is how we format our notes. So I think that's saying a lot.
The reason, so the main character of this show could suck the life out of God himself, because he is a black hole of which no personality or joy can escape from.
Okay, so
I can't remember the main character. at all.
Right. Okay. Well, so one of the notes for the actual show I took was I like the color palette, the art style looks good, and that's it. It's not good. It's not amazing, but I like the colors.
I don't remember the colors. I don't remember the art style. All I have for notes is Headmaster Albus. Someone read Harry Potter, didn't they?
Alright, yeah. Alright, so for the actual interesting notes I took, y'all paid attention to the opening song?
Nope.
Probably not in an important way.
Alright, so I listened to it, right? I quickly recognized, hey, this sounds interesting. No, not interesting. It just sounds familiar. And so what I did was
it Fripside?
Yes, it was Fripside. I was like, no, I was guessing like, is this Fripside? So I'm listening to like the railgun opening. It's like, make sure, this sounds oddly familiar. And no, it sounds almost exactly the same. It has the same motif. It has the same sound design. It has the same vibe. It has the same mixing. And then when it was revealed, it was Fripside. I'm like, yeah, Eureka! I saw that from a mile away.
It is always nice when you can recognize a band or a singer from a anime opening or ending just by exposure to their voice and their style long enough.
Shout out to Fripside, they're a fucking banger, and that's the whole fun I had from the show. I was trying to figure out whether or not it was Fripside or not.
I'm gonna guess that Vlusky did not pick up on the connection to this show and another show.
What is it?
Another anime from years past. I don't know if Crunchy picked up on this or not. When the witch was talking about the Grimoire of Zero as her thing that she was looking out for, I was that sounds vaguely familiar. And then I looked up Grimoire of Zero on Mal, and sure enough, there was an anime called the Grimoire of Zero, and it was by the same author, and it had similar characters, and that's when I realized Dawn of the Witch is a fucking... on Mal it says it's like a spin-off of Grimoire of Zero, but I couldn't tell if it's like a prequel spin-off or anything like that. But this show breaks the sequel-prequel rule that I had set for the seasonal podcast, so I'm sorry that I wasted our time.
So, I'm looking at the page of Grimoire of Zero. I'm looking at the page of Grimoire of Zero. That one is not good too, apparently. So yeah, you know what? I'll forgive you. I have my own sins.
The last note I have about the first episode, or at least what of it I watched. I'm just gonna say this one in its entirety. What part of this opening scene was supposed to hook me in? He approaches the headmaster, then there's like some random rude lolly brat, then she fights a furry for a reason I genuinely forgot, like question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. What part of this is appealing? Like, I genuinely don't know. Nothing. Like, I just don't... Like, normally in an opening to a show...
Maybe as non-Grimoire of Zero fans, we're horribly out of the loop, but...
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
Or maybe both shows are just bad. That is also equally possible.
That seems likely. But it's like, normally in the opening of a show, there's at least something that's, like, basically
piques your
appealing
interest
to someone. What part of this show's opening was supposed to
Maybe it's the witch talking in like old-timey speak. Thus thou tickleth thine fancy or some shit like that. Isn't that how she's talking?
Canst thou shut the fuck up, rude lolly brat? I don't care.
Yeah, I think we've already exhausted everything about Dawn of the Witch.
Alright, so what was this next one?
We're gonna be talking about, we're going back to the isekais with the executioner and her way of life, or as I like to call it, talentless Nana the isekai.
I have this one put as Virgin Road because that was also one of the titles of this show. For some reason,
really want to know why Virgin Road is 2 words that are very English are in the Japanese title, but not the officially
that happens. That happens
title.
with Railgun. Okay, that happens with Railgun. But okay. So I was heavily okay. I'm gonna check the dictionary once more. Execute. Okay. Showcase execution shoujo. A little girl no ikiru way of life. Ikiru means way of life. The executioner with her way of life. Where does Virgin Road come from? Yeah, I have no clue. Okay, so even in the Japanese name, the Virgin Road is on the parentheses. It's Virgin Road. It's in the parentheses. Where does that come from?
Is it like an alternate reading of the kanji?
No.
I don't know.
Kinda.
I feel like Virgin Road, the phrase Virgin Road is so specific that you can't like misread it or not put it in the translation.
See, I went into this show thinking it'd be like some funny, like I feel like this will provide a lot of context into my experience with it. I went in thinking it was gonna be literally like
a
World's
sex
End
comedy.
Harem. Yeah, like a dumb sex comedy.
Virgin Road, Virgin Road, eh? No, it's not virgins. No, it's not about virgins.
And then
I mean, the guy died
a
virgin.
Character. True. Seeing the quote unquote main character, the guy who gets reincarnated, that vindicated me a little bit. You know, I thought he would get kicked out, but then he meets this girl, and I was like, ooh, when the fan service is gonna begin at any moment. And then the girl kills the quote-unquote main character, and then it's about her for the rest of the episode.
I just want to point out, I wrote in my notes, like, I did not look at the synopsis of this show before I started watching it, but I had this feeling in my gut. I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna die, isn't he? Like, everything being set up about him was raising so many death flags.
And then he did.
I genuinely did not see it coming. I was too busy thinking, when is the sex gonna begin?
Damn, you're gonna fucking adore Talent.
So while I was watching the show, this is one of the few ones that I'm just like wanting to put in the background while I work or something else. So while I was watching the show, I put in picture, and you look at the page, and hey, why wasn't the guy on the main characters list on Analyst? Why wasn't he there? And then the thing happened. It's like, oh, okay.
Because he don't get screen time. You
see,
they made the mistake that Talentless Nana did not make. They made sure to give the main character, the pseudo main character that you think we're gonna follow. They put him like front and center with Nana on their poster to keep up the ruse, and then they kill him off in the first episode. Because they're committed to the bit in that one.
They also They sort of made the first episode intentionally shitty and terrible to make it look even more like, oh, this generic main character is going to be who we're following. And then they kill him off, and the show apparently suddenly gets good. I haven't seen anything past the first episode.
You apparently dropped it. A friend of mine gave it a 7.
I want to get back to it someday, but I did drop it after the first
Okay, so y'all described Talentless Nana, and it sounds interesting, but y'all just spoiled the entire thing. I don't know if that matters too much.
It's literally the first episode.
Not that it matters too much, but yeah, it's that's just one thing that I'd like to note. Another thing, it's made by JC. It's made by JC stuff. I like
Executioner and Her Way of Life is it's literally Talentless Nana Isekai.
Did everyone die?
Everyone dies. The end.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Watch.
In a world where. Yeah, in a world where Japanese students are getting isekai'd into this fantasy world with special powers. Apparently, some of them are so uber duper super duper powerful that they're causing these giant disasters and killing so many people because they can't control their powers. So this church group just decides that, you know what, we've got no other choice. These kids, they just gotta go. They gotta go, Bob. And so they they raise assassins to kill all of they call them the Lost Ones. and just so they can keep their world in peace.
Yes.
I actually quite like the premise of this show. I like.
I do too.
Yeah. It's also. I think I also know that. Yeah.
I hate to repeat myself, but I do like the talentless Nana. The concept of her just befriending
I'll just watch Talentless Nana then. Yeah, y'all. We have a verdict. Just watch Talentless Nana.
yeah, that show's better. But
I'm good. I haven't watched it. But I can only tell it's better in every way.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, all right, okay. I just remembered. I just read the notice again that I took the opening theme, the opening song. I fell in love with it first sight. It's like this. It's like really piano. I hate to make this comparison, but it has the same vibe as the Land of the Lustrous opening, but but without the weird rhythms. Is it? But it's still very pretty.
I haven't seen that show yet, so I forgot what the opening for that one's like.
Oh, come on.
All I know is that Eureka does the ED.
Yeah. Oh, Eureka does the ED?
For Land of the Lustrous, I'm pretty sure, right?
Opening. Eureka did opening.
Oh, opening. Okay, my bad.
All right, yeah, Eureka did the opening for you. Yeah, it's that without the weird rhythms. Not to say it's bad. It's actually I was love at first sight. I was listening to the opening like, oh my god, yeah, this is fire. Who are created? The name popped up. I immediately looked it up, and then yeah, it's on my playlist now. You're mine. And welcome to the list of songs I will loop 5 times a day. And yeah, so and back to the show itself. It's an interesting premise. I think we grew through that one. But if you just want the premise, then yeah, Talentless Nana, I guess. Apparently.
I mean, Talentless Nana doesn't have a lapdog servant girl who fondles her every time she sees her. That's a thing that we needed.
Totally, 100%.
Honestly, the execution to this show is a bit iffy. The production values are great, but in terms of characterization...
I wouldn't say they're great.
It's okay.
I would say it's bare minimum level of acceptable.
It's okay.
I thought they were definitely above, like, bare minimum, but maybe I'm just misremembering.
I would say Talentless Nana has better production values, and that show did not have great production values to begin with.
Here, let me look up
that's a description.
The executioner and her way of life. All right.
Like, the character designs are okay, the art is okay.
I kind of think the main character, like the real main character, the girl, kind of cute. Not the cutest thing I ever seen, but she's kind of cute. Oh yeah, and also one of the pink hair girls. I like the twin tail girl. She appears for like 2 seconds, but she has the same voice actor as Zenith from Mushoku, like the maid. Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at the show right now, and I still stand by what I said. The show has great production values. Like, this show looks really good.
Does it look better than Shikimori?
Yes.
Kill yourself.
Yeah. No,
it genuinely just looks better. It has none of the complaints I had about Shikimori's visuals.
Do you have eyes?
Man.
Do you have working eyes?
Yes, I have working eyes. I think this looks... All right. Think back to like the scene in the not snow, but it looks like snow. Like, doesn't that that entire scene looks really good?
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't bad. It could have been way worse. They could have made the snow monster out of CG.
It gets a grand old. It's fine. It's fine.
It is the most anime ever. It is the most it exists ever.
Yeah, it exists.
I know I have a bias against action scenes, but I didn't like the one in this episode where all the people surround her. The entire point is just to show that
it was
she can kill them. Yep, she can
lame
kill people.
fight scene.
Yeah.
The most interesting part about the show to me is the fact that Japanese apparently kids only get exclusively isekai'd from Japan, and so many have been doing it for so long that they've integrated Japanese culture into the world to the point where they speak Japanese.
That's I
can't think of another isekai that does that. At least
that's a good. That bit is good. I like that bit.
Yeah, there are isekai about like characters who will take ideas that they've learned from their world and apply it to the fantasy
one of the
world, but
Konosuba
not to
movies.
the point where
Okay,
they.
I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out. So one of the Konosuba Red Crimson movie, when the end where it's like, oh, we have to beat this thing, but we have to read this ancient thing, and we can't read it. It's like
Japanese.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Yeah, but that's done for a joke, and this is done in earnest.
Yeah. No, I just like the closest thing that ever happened. Like the closest thing that is in that theme, and I felt like this one. Call me anyway. Like that the idea that because like Japanese people just infiltrating this other world, and it's like, and now, yeah. I think. Anything else?
I'm iffy on whether or not I would continue Executioner Way of Life because. I'd feel like I'd much rather just go back and either rewatch Talentless Nana or continue the manga where Nana left off because it leaves off in a really fucking important, crucial part of the story.
Thanks for letting me know in advance. This is one of the shows I like. Has a potential of me continuing it, but I'm not sure.
It seems like the kind of show I'll put off rewatching for about as long as I can. And then one day when I'm just really bored, I'll pick back up, kind of like what I did with Tsukimichi, and then I'll either like it or I'll hate it, like I did with Tsukimichi.
Yeah. I think we went through enough, I guess. Neon, you have anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right, sweet.
Alright, well, the next show we got on the list is Dance, Danseur, which I don't know about y'all, but I was very pleasantly surprised by this one.
Yes! Okay, so this is the show of this block that I have been most excited to talk about. I saw it, I think, the day before yesterday, as of recording this, and so it's pretty new in my memory. I'm just gonna regale a tale real quick, right? I was watching the OP, right? And the OP for this show is visually, like, amazing. It's like this first-person POV, switching into different different people's POV. It's got, like, this fisheye lens effect all over the place.
Very creatively directed until you get to that room with all the reflections.
Well, anyway, I was watching it, impressed throughout it. And then I see the studio name at the very end, Mappa, and it all made sense. It all instantly clicked together, like, okay, yep, that's why this show looks amazing, and we're in for a good time.
Are you a Mappa supremacist, Crunchy?
I'm beginning to become one. I haven't seen their renditions of the final Attack on Titan seasons. So I know a lot of people have a problem with the way they adapted that, just because as CG. But I mean, overall, like, Mappa, they consistently put out really high quality animation, and they, like, make their shows actually look like shows instead of, like, a barely cobbled together mess. So I'd say I'm a Mappa stan.
So this is going to be interesting because I have split thoughts on how this on the art style of this.
Vlusky,
the art style does take a little getting used to.
Vlusky,
however, if someone were to tell me it's bad, I would smack them upside the face and I would
it's like it
grab
looks like
their head,
into my
soul.
It looks like they're staring into my soul.
Vlusky,
I'm sorry.
Vlusky, be careful about how you phrase your split thoughts, or else I'll split you.
I can't. Like, man,
be careful, Vlusky.
I'm sorry.
I praise the art for looking different than all other anime. The typical anime style. I really do like how the faces are drawn.
I like the art style completely because it is so different from how anime usually looks. It's very distinct. With Mappa's animation quality and art quality, it consistently looks attractive. At least as of this first episode. I know the anime tends to, look worse as they go on. But at least as of this first episode, the art style completely works for me.
I could not get...
production values are surprisingly high.
Yeah. I could not stand... I could not get used to it. I'm sorry. Apparently, it's well done, but I could not get used to it. Like every time it's like, oh my god, they're staring into my soul.
I will say maybe like I think sometimes they might have a case of like giraffe neck syndrome.
Yeah,
where
neck to
longer than they should be, or they crane their necks in a way that make them very pronounced.
See,
but that's like the only.
Note, well, I didn't notice that in particular, but one thing I did notice was that the characters are very tall and like gangly. They're very slender. Their limbs are often like spread out across the frame at parts. It's a very interesting look, I'd say.
It's interesting.
Well, it definitely lends itself to the dance because they're dancers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interesting, very.
So, Crunchy, you seem to be the most over the moon about this show, so why don't you tell us a little bit more about Danseur?
So there's this dude named, I'm looking at the AniList page because my memory is that of a goldfish. Junpei Murao. And, you know, he, as a little boy, he's got the long hair thing going, he kind of rocks it as a kid, honestly. And he's watching this ballet thing. He's basically like zonked out the entire time. But then he sees like the super muscly macho man doing ballet, and he's like, "Whoa, that's cool. I like that. I didn't know men could do ballet." And you know, he's like, he's just captured his attention, and so he wants to do ballet, and he gets into ballet lessons. But you know, his dad's like, "Yo, don't you want to do like something a bit more manly, bro? What are you, a fucking twink? What are you?" And
I mean, he looks like one from the games already.
Fair. His voice crack. I think his dad actually like points that out. He's like, "You look enough like a girl already. We don't."
Yeah, he has like a real I looking at, like there's one frame where it's like it shot him from behind. It's like, oh yeah, I can see where it came from.
And so, but eventually the dad gets convinced, and he ends up being brought to ballet lessons. But you know, he exits the building, and then a bunch of kids appear, and they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't know you did ballet. Well, what are you, a girl?"
What are you
like?
What are you, fucking gay?
Exactly. That's a good summary of it.
So anyway, after that, his dad dies, and he gets told by this one dude at the funeral, like, "Yo, you're the man of the house now. You gotta protect your mom and your sister." And so he cuts his hair. He goes Mulan kind of, and
you skipped over the part where he he gets into a fight with the kids that called him gay.
Oh yeah, he did do that. He did do that, didn't he?
Yeah, he ran up and headbutt one of them in the face.
Ah, that was awesome. And so he's like, you know, I'm gonna be a manly man. I'm gonna do that. I forget exactly what it's called, but some kind of like fighting.
It's Jeet Kune Do, and it's notable because it's the real life martial art that Bruce Lee invented.
I did not know that, and so he does that thing, Jeet Kune Do, because his dad wanted him to. He wanted him to do that instead of ballet. And he's like, you know, I'm gonna honor my dad's wishes. I'm gonna be the manliest, machoest, burliest man ever. But secretly, his heart still pines for ballet. And so he meets this black-haired girl named Miyako Godai. He meets Miyako Godai, and she sees him do like this kick thing. She's like, "That's a ballet move. You based that kick off of a ballet move." And she brings him to this little ballet studio thing and tries to see if she can get him to, you know, go into it. And he eventually does. The person who owns it, after some trying on his end, she allows him to stay at the ballet thing. Him and the owner seem to have some sort of unspoken history that we'll probably learn about later. You know, she seems to know him already. He has forgotten her, but she knows who he is. And apparently doesn't like him all that much at the beginning, or has at least mixed feelings about him. And but he's still, you know, as he's doing this ballet stuff, he's still struggling with like, but I'm supposed to be manly macho man. I'm not supposed to do girly ballet stuff. And so that's sort of the gist of the first episode. At the end, we get sort of a sneak peek at a new character who's probably going to appear in episode 2. Overall, really, really positive on this one. Kind of went on for a while, so I'll let you take off with your opinions.
I really liked it. I was surprised, and going into this, I thought it was just gonna be sort of like a middling production value kind of sports anime, because like this qualifies as like a off fringe shoot of sports anime.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a performing art more than a sport, but it's got all of like the same
priorities,
if not most of the
formats,
same beats or beats of a sports anime. I think the moment that like I fell in love with the show was in that scene in the studio where what's her name, Miyako's mom, who runs the ballet studio, is like, I don't know, are you sure this kid can do ballet? He's like, his form's all fucked up. He's like not giving it his all. And then as Miyako's like going to bat for him, being like, no, I saw his kick. He was like, dude, he's fucking awesome. And as they're talking, he's like, oh my god, this is it. I finally have enough room, enough space to actually do these moves. Because one of the reasons he stopped doing ballet is because in his tiny room, he didn't have enough open space to practice his moves. So then as soon as he gets the opportunity, he starts doing all those ballet moves he did when he was younger. And like he was feeling the spark that he felt when he saw that tattooed guy from the ballet recital he went to as a kid. And feel like this is it. This is the spark I've been missing, that I've been missing for years. Because he still finds Jeet Kune Do fun, but he doesn't. He can
still have a spark,
even if he doesn't realize it yet. Yeah, it's not as fulfilling for him as ballet is.
Yeah, that scene was like incredibly well.
Yeah, it's like a.
Oh, you go ahead, Vlusky.
Okay, so putting art style aside for now, like the whole premise, I really, really like it. It's like breaking the status quo. Since like I've known Japanese cultures really against you breaking the status quo. So I like this for that exact premise and execution of the story and how it was brought out. I kind of like it. How it was brought.
We gotta break free from the shackles of toxic masculinity together.
Yes, let's
fight society.
Society.
I was really appealed to this episode from just how briskly paced it is, but not in the way that to pull an example, Tomodachi Game, or I guess Squid Game as we like to call it. That was insanely fast paced, but to the point where it sort of skimped out on characterization and things that we thought were necessary. This is brisk paced, but it also has all the characterization
it's well
you could
paced.
ever want.
It's well paced. I'll give it that.
There's no wasted time.
Yeah, no wasted time, but there's also nothing missing. So it's just right when it comes to pacing. It's it meshes so well to my attention span. I was hooked on this. This was not a struggle to get through at any point. It was really, really fun. I like the main character. His personality is endearing. His goals are also endearing. The struggle with his masculinity is interesting to see on screen and not something that I see tackled in anime too often. Miyako is adorable. I just want to point that out. I think Miyako is cute as hell. Not sure if I'm gonna get any. Yeah, Vlusky, what did you think? She's adorable, right?
I think she's cute. I forgot how she looks. But and I'm looking at the analyst page, realizing it's not from the anime, but judging from vaguely what I remember, she's cute. I guess.
Half of my notes on the show are just me talking about how cute Miyako is.
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
I really, you were talking about Junpei's personality. I really like how he kind of standoffish with the ballet studio mom, and she's what interests me about the show is that she's very gung-ho about, all right, listen, if you want to do ballet full time, you're gonna have to quit soccer, to stop doing Jeet Kune Do. You're gonna have to dedicate all of your time to ballet. You can't half-ass it. And what it seems like to me is that setting up like, is he going to be able to fully dedicate himself to ballet, or will he be able to balance these passions of his? And like, what stance is the show going to take on like following your dreams?
Kind of interesting to see how that.
Yeah, I also noticed that too, and I think like I can't wait for that arc. That's gonna be super engaging. If it happens, I think it'll happen. I don't think there's any way it won't happen. And I'm glad that there are 6 episodes of this out, so that at any point I can just binge as much of it as I want, at least until episode 7.
That's kind of one thing that I don't like. I don't look forward to when I look for seasonals. Is that when you find a good one, you cannot exactly.
You want to watch all of it.
Yeah. That's...
Well, that's only for people like us who do this podcast to inform the masses of what's hot and what's not.
And this one is apparently hot. And you're not gonna agree.
It is very hot.
It is definitely. I'd say it's one of the more underrated shows of the season. Top 5 easy.
It has a 72 on any list.
I'm
not sure what
it has. A 7.6 on Mal.
That's good.
It's got a good score for what it is. I'm just saying its user count is not deserving of how good it is. Let me count where it is right now. Let's see, 12, 15, 18, 21. It is 23rd place on the popularity chart.
That's not horrible, but it needs to be higher. This was like
if
one
you
of
ain't
my
top
favorites.
20, you ain't getting watched.
Yeah. You know, this is one. Aside from Ryota, I can't get used to it for some reason. There's something about it. I guess it's like the really big eyes or like the lanky proportion, but I don't know. I just don't vibe to it.
It might be the proportions. They're a little more realistic than anime typically is.
Yeah, I guess. Also like the buff,
there's
like the muscles.
There's a lot more emphasis on like the outlines of their muscles and their clavicles and whatnot. I think it does, like we said before, it lends itself well to the dancing animation, which is very good, might I add. Which is something that the show needed to live or die on, because you have a dancing show.
It's a dance show.
Bad dancing animation.
It's a dance show. If you don't have a dance on the dance show, then what was it? Okay, speaking of the dance, I noticed something about it. So the first scene where it's like showing the Junpei showing like his first calling with like the muscular buff dude in doing ballet the first time. That one I noticed it was done with CG, and it was. I'll give it like a B-. It's fine. It's just above passing grade.
Did not notice it being a 3D model at all.
I'm looking at the scene right now. It looks so 2D animated. CG.
The only CG I saw throughout the entire show was during the opening, in that one sequence where the characters are like in this reflective room and the reflections on the walls and ceiling are CG, whereas as they're dancing they're in 2D.
Okay, so the way I noticed that was CG is because like there are tiny movements, and it's like usually when you like hand draw things, the smaller movements tend to get a bit jittery, and that one is like almost completely smooth, and that one is good. But the thing I'm so hung up on, since like this show has like 2 methods for animating the dance scenes. It's either that or rotoscoping, and I don't know. This is just a nitpick, but I can tell like which, like when they like keep switching between them, and it doesn't feel consistent to me.
It is apparent when you could tell when rotoscoping animation compared to completely freeform hand drawn 2D.
What I'm so hung up on is like, guys, please just pick one method, okay? Just pick one method.
I don't mind them using rotoscoping.
No. I don't mind it. Ultimately, I don't mind it. I just don't think it's consistent.
I don't know. Aside from the opening, I never looked at this show once and went, "Ooh, that looks ugly."
Honestly, I didn't even look. I didn't like. I'm looking at the OP right now. I don't even think it's ugly, really. Like it looks fine.
Well, only the part where they're dancing with their CG reflections. That's the only
I'm
ugly part of the show.
That right now. It honestly doesn't look ugly to me. Like it looks fine.
Yeah, this is mostly just me.
I think
like
the use of
uh-huh.
CG and rotoscoping, whatever, like it's good enough to where I genuinely can't tell which is which. So I'd say that's doing exceptionally well.
Okay, one objective thing. This is definitely a step up from Zombieland Saga. That one needs a bit of a revision. So yeah, that's one thing we can say about it. Other than that, though, yeah, I think I can't get used to it. It's very good.
It sounds like we're all walking away from Danseur with a high recommendation.
Yeah, a high recommendation.
Overall,
putting art style aside. Putting art style aside, yeah, I think it's really good. It's good. Yeah. If it wasn't,
I'm glad we all agree on this.
Yeah.
Dance Danseur is hot. Miyako is hotter. That is my.
Also, okay. So if you're the opposite sex or you're a lesbian, if you're the opposite or you're like straight like buff dude, this one has those too. So yeah, this appeals to both sexes. Anyway,
joke's on you. I'm a straight man, and I'm attracted to both of the people, to both the female dancers and the dude from the start.
Not every.
Bro, did you see his tattoo?
The dude at the start looks awesome.
Amazing.
Actual grace there.
That is what peak performance looks like.
Stop toxic masculinity this second.
Like, I completely get why Junkei's
toxic masculinity is dead, and that guy killed it.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Crunchy, you were saying that Danseur is hot, and Miyako is hotter, but the girls from In the Heart of Kunoichi Tsubaki are the hottest, right?
No.
Alright,
hold on.
Yeah,
I saw like barely any of this show.
I was trying to see if I could get you in the trap. So something funny about this, right? So previous one was about like abolishing toxic masculinity. It's good. This one starts off with
this one kill all men.
Men
are
horrible.
All fucking toxic, and they're right.
What a contrast.
Okay, so isn't this the one where like all the girls are lollies in this show, right?
Yes.
Well, you could describe another show, a couple more shows later in this list, like that. But yes, this is where they're all young female ninjas.
Yeah, it's I have it in my notes.
I'm not that. I'm not a lolicon. I promise. Miyako is the one for me.
I mean,
you can tell this is a Soichiro. You can tell this is a Soichiro Yamamoto story because the kids have massive fucking foreheads.
Soichiro Yamamoto. I have not.
You know Takagi-san, right?
Oh, and he also did Sore Dembo Ayumu wa Yose.
Yeah, that one's coming next season, and I remember you saying you're looking forward to that one because it looks like up your alley.
Yeah, it's seems like a fun rom-com. Takagi also looks up my alley.
Takagi is good. I've not seen season 3 yet because I just have not had the time.
Takagi looks interesting,
but
I haven't watched it, but it looks interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's Takagi-san is better than this show.
Oh, that's okay. I haven't watched Takagi-san, but I think I can agree on that. Okay.
To be completely all right, I'm just gonna say my entire experience with the show right now. All right. I watched the first 5 minutes, realized it was about gender politics, skipped forward through the next 5 minutes, and stopped watching.
I would not say it's about gender politics. That seems like and not to put you down because I know you don't actually think this way, but that seems like something you like the Spy X Family crowd would watch 5 minutes of the show and be like, oh, this is exactly what the show's about. Fucking SJWs.
I tried to like. That's not.
Okay. I'm not thinking of it in like an SJW sense. I was just.
I'm not. You're not interested. Man. Like I'm not having this today.
I mean, maybe it's more just silly rom-com vibes. I don't know.
Okay, so
it's not even a rom-com.
It's not even a romance, bro. It's just like
attracted to.
I don't even know what that is actually. I tried to watch like 5 minutes. I'm realizing, oh wow, is it what this is now? And then I tried to like skip forward, but like trying to piece together what this is about. And actually, this is like one of them. summary I put. I don't know what's going on. As far as I can tell, it's a girls' school that is very isolated from male Homo sapiens, and they've been taught by Tumblr refugees that all men are bad, but some of them want to rebel.
All men are gross and have cooties.
Yeah. Kill all men.
See, it's not that I think that the show's siding with them, right? I didn't see that in just
Like,
see red. Right?
There's like
They're not taking a side. I think it's just...
it's probably...
The whole joke of the show is that she wants to see what men are like because she's like awakening.
It's like, oh, men are cool. Why are we close our eyes on this? And I have no clue. Other than I have no clue what's going on. All I see is just like...
Yeah, that's the thing about this show. I'm like, I watched the whole thing and I was like, you know, it's not bad, but I'm failing to grasp what the substance is. Like, what am I getting out of this show that I got from the shows like Takagi-san? The substance in that is that you see the relationship between Takagi and Nishikata grow and develop, and even like on the most base surface level, it's just cute seeing Takagi tease Nishikata and then hanging out all the time. It's cute, it's adorable, it's fun to watch. This cute things happen in the show, but like
what?
It's all like it's the most surface of surface level.
Yeah, that's...
From what I saw of it, there was this girl named Tsubaki, and she like went out to find 2 people who were missing, and then she got... I think she got bound by them or something like that. Like she got her hands tied by them. That was about the point where I stopped watching. Honestly, I think I skipped
you didn't make it past the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
not really.
Well, I was gonna mention how the best part of the show is how every female ninja girl has a unique, distinct design, not unlike Akabe, but even more so because with Akabe they had all the same uniform, with just distinct like facial design, facial features, builds, and hairstyles. Whereas in this show, they all have unique designs and outfits.
Yeah, I can see that. Actually, the art style is one of the things that I like. It's not it's not breathtaking, but it's
Cloverworks,
yeah,
and it looks like they're...
Oh shit!
You'd expect that.
It definitely...
You'd expect that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the... I can only imagine they must have like their B team working on it, because it doesn't look bad. I didn't look at the show and be like, ooh, this doesn't look particularly great, but they definitely all like the good people are working on Spy X Family, surely.
Definitely, like
yeah.
It looks fine. From what I saw of it, the visuals weren't awful. But it's just kind of an alright looking show. Another thing that contributed to me watching barely anything of this show is also that I was beginning to run out of time. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna skip through this real quick.
It seems like it doesn't.
The other show I saw after it was even worse though, so I honestly probably should have just sat down and watched the entire episode, then skipped through the next show. But either way.
Okay. This is the one that I will watch on a session, and at this one I kind of like watered down. I'm a bit tired. So I don't know exactly like how to piece together my thoughts, but I think that has something to do with this show. Nothing with the lack of things.
Because the show's kind of aimless.
Yeah, the lack of things going on. Well, there are things going on, but
there are things going on, but we don't know what they're like. The point, what's it in all service of?
Since like,
if
usually the first episode is usually like the best place to just pitch, hey, this is what we are and this is what we do, but yeah, not this time.
Like what is the point of the show? To look at a bunch of cute girl ninjas?
If I want to do that, I'll fucking go back to watching Gochi Usa again, and I'm over my old lolly days. But yeah, other than that though, I'm still like trying to piece together what is this. Like, and I'm gonna read the synopsis. The story centers under the titular Tsubaki Kunoichi. Their best student in her school. She lives in a village of women with the rule that they cannot have contact with men. However, she has a curiosity about men. So it's literally that
Yep,
thing.
that
It's
is,
like,
in fact, the
all men are
synopsis.
bad, but some of them want to rebel. That's what I said before, and that's it.
Well, we don't know why this clan is so against men, but I don't think we need to know, because the whole joke is that Tsubaki's like, oh my god, and like I want to know about men so badly.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It doesn't have a graphic. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if will it end up commenting on that, or will it just be like the stage for some kind of like gag comedy or like rom-com? I don't know, honestly.
I think it's supposed to be a cute girl ninja gag comedy.
It's like cute girls doing cute things. It's like primarily child
does
cast
sound about
and
right,
primarily from the girl cast. I have like if this goes well, like if in the far future, like maybe like when it's in a series, then I'm going to take a wild assumption that the higher ups are going to question like, hey, you can't do that, and then she's like, no, they're not bad. I was like, no. And then it's like that. That's when the conflict will start, but it doesn't hook me, and there's no hook to it in the first one. And I'm guessing like if it doesn't do anything, then it's like it's gonna be like just gags, just jokes about like, hey, I want to be close to men.
I will use my ninja skills to get closer to men, and it's just that there's not much to get out of the show.
Yeah.
Kind of like there's not much to get out of Fanfare of Adolescence. Heyo.
This is the one I watched. This is the one I watched only the first 5 minutes of Kunoichi in order to watch the entire first episode of, and I regret my decision.
Respectfully, why did you do that?
Yeah, you chose wrong, dude. I watched the first 5 minutes and began skipping around.
This one.
So,
yes.
Gyunjo no Fanfare is a story about horse racing with the most generic main character you could possibly have, where the horses are CG about half the time, and random ghost cherry blossom petal horses.
He's guided by the spirit horse, dude.
Oh yeah, the horse. This was his calling. I want horse. Pimp my horse, please.
Pimp my horse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the CG. No, I'm going to take my CG nerd skills to say that this one looks shit. Like it looks bad. Like it's
Fellas, I'm gonna be honest. I've already exhausted everything I have to say about this show.
Okay,
how?
Okay, so I'm going to
three notes and we've covered all.
Alright, I'm going to elaborate on I'm going to utilize my NPR skills. Okay, first the first opening sequence, right? There's like when they show the horse, they try to do that quirky thing when they try to do like render it in 12 FPS to emulate how hand drawn animation goes. It was not done well. It looks like the graphics card is stuttering, and then the rest of it, the shader doesn't look good. It doesn't fit. And then another thing is why? Like, our horse is that hard to animate, and
actually yes, horses
really
are. If you ask most animators, horses are kind of.
Actually, this is a show about horses.
Well, that doesn't make horses easier to draw.
I mean, you should have put a bit more effort into that bit, eh? No, well, I guess I can understand.
I suppose, in fairness, though, they could have also just not made the show about horses.
Yeah, it's just like
if you were you could argue that if you were going to make a show about horse riding, you should make the horse riding look good and not bad.
That's my point. Yeah. It feels like this is a horse anime, but they outsourced the horse.
I don't love it.
At least the horses look better than the CG horses in Mushoku Tensei. That's the only compliment I can give it. I'm really stretching for that one. But.
Okay, at least my humble request is at least just put, if you do want to use CG, I can at least put a bit more effort into it. All right. Okay,
it sounds like we're already done.
Yeah. Okay. So one more thing.
One more.
All right. You first. Oh. All right.
So I hate the character designs in this show. They are the most generic, dull, blah character designs I've ever seen. They're just nothing. They're absolutely nothing. And I guess the show has one interesting idea, which is that the main character, right? He's this famous person in a band, and then he quit that to do horse riding. And the show does do a little bit with it, but it's not nearly enough to A, give the main character a personality, and B, an interesting enough conflict to carry this otherwise incredibly dull show.
All right, so one more thing I have to say for this, I guess. This is about horses, and I just remember another show I had in my planning list, which is also about horses. I think I was talking to Crunchy about this. It's Uma Musume. Now, that one has a bit of a different premise. It's like a horse girl, literal horse girl, and she's going to a track.
This is
running race
never
things.
swipe right.
It's this fucking show.
Yes. So I was coping so hard on this, like, oh damn, I should probably check the other one to see, just to see how that one goes, and it's like, oh, it's actually good. Oh jeez. I don't know if this should just like wrecks my expectation or just if Uma Musume is that good, but if you want horses, yeah, just go watch Uma Musume.
Uma Musume has an 80% average score on Annulus.
Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Yes. An idle horse is better than this stupid shit. Yeah, that's saying something.
Isn't Umame just horse girls racing each other?
Yes.
Also, is it like
yes. Okay, no, it's like it has a bit more to it. It's like it's an academy, and it's like figuring out how learning what it takes really to like rise up the ranks and everything. So it's not just running. But that's actually is going to be a horse show that I'm going to continuing outside of the seasonals.
Vlusky, your only comment on Uma Musume Pretty Derby on your Annie list is hold your horses.
Yes.
We can't be friends.
JoJo Part 7, boys. It's not looking good for the future. We gotta pray that David Production doesn't go full CG on the horses like I've prophesized for years. I've been telling my one friend, you remember Armagon from the JoJo podcast, Crunchy.
Yeah.
I've been telling him, the Part 7 is gonna have CG horses, and he says when that happens, he's gonna wring my fucking neck.
Oh God, I can't wait for that to happen.
I am looking forward.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna have to ask that I take the floor for this one, because this one that I've been looking forward to for the whole since we started planning the podcast.
Oh, I think
I want to bring the mood down a bit.
For now,
Hang on.
I need to take.
I want to guys. I want to bring the mood down a bit.
All
right. Listen. Life is unpredictable. It's hard to control every feasible aspect of your life, and it's especially impossible to control when you are born. But always remember to be thankful. Thankful for the time you have on this earth. The world is billions of years old, and man is born to live for about a century at best. So clasp your hands together and rejoice. Be grateful to whatever God you may worship that you were privileged enough to be born and grow up in the time where peak fiction was created. Get on your hands and knees and bask in the unbridled glow and majesty of the greatest piece of art ever created, Miss Sachiku and the little baby ghost, or as known to non-cowards, Miss Corporate Slave wants to be healed by a lolly spirit!
I gotta give a clap.
This is my Black Panther. Never have I felt so seen.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to give compliments to this. That one was good.
Neon, did you rehearse that? How did you say that entire thing?
I wrote that literally.
Oh, I was wondering if that was scripted or not.
Okay, in my notes I had that whole
right,
thing
it was
literally
scripted,
written out, but it was scripted. I literally wrote the whole thing this morning, but I've been thinking about like how I'm going to say it. because I think I was gonna do something like this
All
the
right.
entire time
All
we were
right,
playing the
now,
podcast.
now you
Ever since I put
now
in
you
the
seem
notes,
like the one
for
that's the most
in the
excited
Discord
about
server.
this right now. You why not you take the microphone and explain what this thing is?
Alright, so this is the greatest fucking anime ever conceived by man. It's about this corporate slave girl who is alright, she's kind of cute looking, and she's your average slave wage cuck, working at some kind of office facility, and getting bent over the table by deadlines in typical Japanese work fashion, probably close to killing herself. And then and it's late hours in the night. It's up to fucking 2 a.m., which shouldn't even be fucking legal. I don't know why it is. I guess she's like getting in that massive overtime. And she is visited by this blonde lolly baby ghost who, let's not think about if baby ghost means that she died as a baby. Let's not worry about that.
Oh god. That's dark.
She is haunting the office facility for whatever reason, and she sees how Miss Sachiku is slaving away and is close to death, and she's like, "Oh, it would be sad if she died here, and so I'm gonna haunt her to make her leave." And then Miss Sachiku discovers her, and they form this little friendship. She's cute. It's the jury's still out on whether it's gonna be a Wataten or Uzumade situation where she is either just enamored by her general cuteness or is just straight up kind of a pedophile. Listen, I'm not saying Project Number 9 needs to be put on a watch list, but I am saying that their other shows include Higehiro, Hentai Heroes, the fucking Shogi Lolly Show, and Rokubu. So I'm saying maybe they do need to be put on a fucking watch list.
I think this one will go for the more wholesome approach. At least that's what it seems like to me.
There's nothing
through
that
cute.
jumped out at me that was like, ooh, gotta call the police on this one. Like there was in the Shogi show. Have you seen clips from the fucking Shogi show?
I've seen the first episode and I hated it. Does it get worse?
God. I believe there is a scene where she comes out, the little girl is coming out of a shower or a bath, and with a towel barely wrapped around her, and she's going to give the shogi master guy that she lives under, is apprenticing under, that she calls master, a hug or something, and it's trash. It's weird.
Every time I hear of a lolly calling another adult male master, all that happens in my mind is just an infinite amount of flashbacks to Shield Hero, just reverberating around the inside of my skull.
I'm sorry.
This show, Project Number 9 does not really make good-looking shows. I will say, surprisingly not terrible looking.
Yeah, I'll give the show that. I'll give the show that it looks normal. Yeah.
It's not blowing the roof off the face, but it's competent.
It's competent, and the character design.
I'd say it's...
Granted, Crunchy, they do the thing where they have an entire episode take place in one room, so I guess they saved on background art. But...
It's a bit crusty, a bit low budget feeling, it's definitely enough to where I noticed, okay, these guys don't really have the biggest budget or enough talent that they're working with here.
The character art seems consistent. I will say, not a big fan of how the blonde lolly ghost looks. It's you know what it is? It's the cheeks. The cheeks are too...
It's like
puffy.
One of those things. I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called.
For lack of a better term, rotund.
Yeah.
They're too chubby. But I guess that's kind of the aesthetic they're going for.
It's bordering on Cal Arts. It's bordering on Cal Arts, I think. Yeah.
Oh no! Don't tell me you're fucking actually hitting me with Cal Arts in current year, Vlusky.
No, I'm trying to find a word to describe that better. But yeah, it's a bit it's like one of those things where the chick is. Yeah, it's too chubby. But to me, it looks not good, but for what it designs of it, it's like it works well enough, I guess. Yeah, that's a comment.
Her design is like, at least to me, fine, but all right, this is going to be a really weird complaint, and I don't think anyone will necessarily agree with me on it. But I found her personality slightly off-putting.
The ghost?
Does anyone relate to this?
The ghost?
I did watch Senko-san, and yes, I do understand what you're talking about.
Like,
you know what it is? She's super cheerful. Oh, go ahead. I joke, but at least like Senko is like actually more of a like
mommy,
grown up, and is like is able to have more adult conversations with the dude from Senko-san, whereas this is just straight up a child.
See, I like Senko-san, right? I give it like a solid 6 out of 10, right? That's like the bare minimum of what I would consider to be watchable entertainment. And I've also seen it 3 times for some reason. Don't ask about my viewing habits. I don't know either. But Senko is like at least an adequate character. You know, she feels like her own sort of like separate person with a will of her own, and sometimes she's even like, you know, defying. I forgot his name, but the main character. I've seen it 3 times and I forgot the main character's name.
3 times.
Understandable. Happens to the best of us.
Yurei-chan, that's the blonde lolly ghost's name. She just feels like almost too adorable, too childlike and innocent in a sense.
It's working kind of as intended.
Yeah,
your mileage may vary.
That's what I'm about to say.
It's a weird complaint, but it's one that I have.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. I can kind of see where you're coming.
This show, I was joking even back when we were making the podcast. I put in when I was compiling the list. I was like, I put right next to the show's title in parentheses, anime of the year. By the way,
I was wondering where you get that. I was wondering where you get that.
The anime is just incredible. How could you not call it anime of the year after just reading the title alone?
Yes.
That was the title that's shown up in the list is what the it was before the official English translation came out, and which I imagine it was Crunchyroll's doing, in which case they're cowards.
Fucking cowards.
Yeah.
I will as much as I hyped it up, I will sadly not be continuing the show if I can pull back the guys. It's just another one of those weird
it's Nerf Senko-san. It's Nerf Senko-san. That's a no type. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, this does much kind of like Senko-san. This seems like the type of show guys like Kurosai on YouTube will make hilariously inappropriate meme edits for. And that will be the greatest contribution that Miss Sachiku and the little baby ghost will create for society.
All right, real quick side note. Have you seen Kurosai's dub of the one Mushoku Tensei scene where Rudius and Aris are in bed together?
I have, and it was funny.
It's
Kurosai
amazing.
Very funny.
Is that about
any y'all got any more notes about little baby ghost?
No.
Nope.
No,
because I know why you guys don't have any notes about that, because you kind of like me, y'all are eager to talk about the actual sleeper of the entire fucking season, ya boy Kongming.
Okay, now this one is a true clap.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a real clap. Oh my god. Oh
I have not seen an anime fucking shoot up the popularity chart on a season since Made in Abyss.
Oh man.
Granted, not to the same extent, but also the show is more recent, so, and also probably not going to be as world building and narrative focused, but
your boy
it still
has an 81
is very average
good score on AniList.
It's got like an 8.4 on Mal.
Okay,
right
it's
now.
like 8
that
highest
is
rated.
insane.
Okay, to give you a reference on how much the show has shot up in popularity, when I make the block list for the podcast, I tend to do it like the month before the season begins. So, and then I go in every other order on the popularity list at the time to go like, all right, so this will give us a nice balance of talking about popular shows at the start of each part, and then working our way down to the less popular. When I put your boy Kongming on the list, it was only above the next two shows down on this list in terms of popularity. Now it is let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It is in 14th place. It has cracked the top 20.
This one's
might crack the top 10 by the end of the
reasons.
season.
Oh god.
Because it's fucking good.
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
All right, there's a
so here.
Yes.
I want to quickly. Well, hold on, Vlusky. Do you want to do the plot synopsis? Because
I have a long backstory about why I like this later, but you can do that. You can do it.
Okay, so your Boy Kongming is the weirdest combination of disparate ideas and a premise of a show that I have seen in a long time. So, Chinese Emperor Kongming gets, he's on his deathbed, and he gets reincarnated into the modern day. He gets reincarnated at, this, I don't know what to call it, party?
Shibuya.
Shibuya?
It's Halloween night in Shibuya, yeah.
Okay. It's Halloween night in Shibuya, and people are singing, and they're in costume. And Kongming looks at this. He's like,
this is hell.
I'm in hell. Yeah. He's literally like, I see I've been killed off, and I am currently in hell. And so he's walking
immediately
around.
already endearing.
Yeah.
Right off
so
the
he's walking
bat.
around with people in costume, and then he hears this one girl singing. I'm gonna find her name.
Aiko
Tsukimi. And he hears her voice, and he's like, heavenly. And the two eventually form a friendship, and, they do stuff together. Kongming learns a little bit about the world. He learns that he's not in hell, and was actually reincarnated to 1800 years in the future. He learns the fate of all his friends in a kind of dark, if you think about it.
Yeah, so he learned it in a Wikipedia.
And he learns about NFTs, baby.
Yeah, wait, what's
Exactly.
a blockchain? What's a blockchain?
Oh yeah,
that
that was a literal line in the show.
Yes.
I'm so curious to know in the 4 hours that she was teaching him about all the things about the world. I'm so curious to know what train of events, what line of dialogue led to talking about the fucking blockchain.
Yeah, he learned about NFT. Hang on. Okay, when was the manga?
Eika, what is this picture of an ape? And why do they all look the same? And why is this guy charging thousands of dollars for it?
I wonder.
Actually, the NFT market crashed.
Yeah, that's a fucking
Now it
finally.
did.
I'm glad it did. Okay, I think you missed a point of another main point basically. So Kongming is this very good war strategist, right? He knows all the war stuff. And then Eiko here, she's struggling because she's been performing singing for a while, but she doesn't get to see much view. She doesn't seem to get much attention. But then your boy Kongming here just went out there and just hey, yeah, do you need help? And then he just deadass just used his strategic skills to help Eiko raise up the ranks, and with his crazy antics, that somehow works amazing.
We're going to fucking war, fellas,
Yes,
and I can think of no greater cause than to get motherfucking Eiko her to the spotlight she deserves. Cause goddamn, can this bitch sing?
Oh,
Eiko is.
I need
really
to. I did not make. I'm surprised.
Character.
I did not make it. I'm surprised I did not make a note of this when I was watching the show. I need to see. All right, her voice actress is Kaede Hondo. I'm trying to see if she's
the other roles that she did.
the singing voice.
The same voice. Oh, she did the same. She did Miyako on a few shows back. Oh, neat. That's neat.
I'm trying to find if she.
She also apparently does. She also apparently does
right,
Sakura from Zombieland Saga too. Oh wow!
I just want to say, Kaede Hondo voices Kaede Hanjo from Bofuri. Just want to point that out.
That's interesting.
She's also Hikari from Interviews with Monster Girls, which is a very good performance.
Yeah, her singing.
Haruka.
Yeah,
from
I think that might just be her actual singing voice.
Yeah. Actually, one nitpick. This is a really dumb nitpick about her singing voice. I do not like her English. This is.
Aw, kill yourself.
I know. It's good enough, but it's noticeable. Oh right, yeah, okay.
I'm sorry that this Japanese native could not, who probably just does mostly voice acting could not dedicate herself to
Right,
get over
so-
a that's
I guess that's a really dumb
speech,
thing. Other than that, it's she has a really blessed voice, and I don't like it.
I fucking adore that she sings almost exclusively in English because she was influenced by that American singer.
Yeah, it's like it's an interesting backstory. You're like, oh wow, I do not want. Okay, I do not want to spoil this for everyone, but there's a. Okay, do you guys mind if I told her backstory in this?
No.
You mean the part where she tried to kill
Yeah,
herself?
yeah, she was suicidal.
Oh, well.
She wants to kill herself, and then this one dude just saying, "Hey, before you do, why not just take a trip and my place?" Is like, and then at the place there was like this American singer, and like, hey, oh, and then there she goes like, "Oh yes, this is my calling now, and I was gonna do singing for the rest of my life."
I was very caught off guard by the scene where she's about to step in front of a moving train just to end her life, and how open she was about being like, yeah, when I was in high school, I was in a bad place mentally.
That was like,
I thought this was gonna be like a goofy, haha, this ancient historical figure got reincarnated into our world and wacky hijinks ensue. No, this show's kind of really fucking down to earth.
It's deep.
Which is really nice, considering that it's like it's tackling a subject matter like clubbing, the nightlife, and like club music. It's gonna be using singing as like the main focal point, but under this broader lens of this disco
Society.
yeah, nightlife, kind of debauchery in a way, because if you show anyone older than their 50s this show, like the kind of nightlife that the young ones have today, they'd have a fucking aneurysm.
Oh wow, yeah.
Eiko is a very immediately endearing character, and I was
like
very
her.
surprised by that. I mean, first of all, she just has a really nice design.
The best expressions.
Yeah, her character design is probably one of my favorites of like this entire season, aside from Miyako,
season?
because Miyako
it's really
my
fucking
waifu
good.
Yeah,
of
it's
the season.
good. She's
Yeah,
adorable.
it's a really good.
She reminds me
I
of
love her,
another
her
character.
baseball hat.
that-
I love her long twin tails.
Yeah, one twin tails.
Her big
Her
ass
has
coat.
personality is
And
really
actually-
fun and plays off of Kongming
Yeah,
in
it's
really
playful
endearing
and-
ways. And the backstory just sort of rounds everything off. Like by the end, I was completely on train Eiko.
Yeah, it's no poor choice of words.
How?
Alright.
Hold on.
Train.
Am I
Train.
missing-
She
Oh
reminds me of-
no! I
Crunchy,
just
did-
noticed. it!
Took you long enough, Crunchy.
I could see the gears turning in your head. There's no video call
I'm
here.
mentioning like this mathematical
I can
particles.
I can tell I can
formulas
hear the
floating.
Jeopardy theme going off in your brain.
I know, this calculation. What's the punchline? Like, oh wow, finally. That took you a grand old total of.
Hey, don't worry,
That
Eiko
took
was
me
almost
way
on the
too
train
long.
herself.
Oh dear. Oh god. All right.
So let's bring it back into happier times. The opening, even though we didn't get to hear the full version or see the actual opening credit sequence in the first episode, I'm sure y'all have seen it online because it's been
Ooh,
it
it is
is the reason why this show was
Apparently,
blowing
it's a
up.
meme.
I
haven't
haven't
been informed by
seen
my
it,
sister.
actually.
It's a meme.
I-
What?
Oh.
How?
Yes.
It's got like 7 million views on YouTube last I checked.
Shikimori.
Apparently, Crunchy is not one of those 7 million people. I don't actually
okay,
watch.
well,
No, I don't.
I'm going to make a note of the. I'm going to make a note right here. I'm just gonna have to cut out the next 90 seconds of this so Crunchy can watch the opening right now.
All right,
and
well, okay, watch it
then
and
we
just
can talk
pretend
about
that you
it.
know what's going on.
Oh god, it has like 6 million views.
Yes. Now watch it.
Oh, we're actually doing this?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you have to
Okay.
watch it right
Please.
I'm watching it right now. I have finished watching the OP, and I very much like it.
All right.
visuals are
Okay,
really
can we continue now?
now. It is very good. It's a very well directed, stylized, animated opening. The fucking dance that they do, and it's all fucking Eurobeat.
Out of all things, apparently, yeah. And the song too. It's like, oh, it's very fun, really good sounding. It's an instant.
It's a It's a Eurobeat cover from a Japanese artist of a Hungarian song. I was surprised to find
That's
out.
worldwide. So okay, so actually, first time I heard it, like, okay, so I was listening to this, like, hey, that sounds familiar. Where have I heard that? And then I looked up on, oh right, it was that song. Actually, Neon, I want to question, how often was it for openings to use like a cover song in anime?
Not very often. Usually openings for anime fall under like one of two categories. Either they are like character song openings where they're just sung by the voice actors playing in the roles of the characters, or they are licensed by music companies for bands or singers. Usually either they have a song that they're making or like have ready to release and they license it as like a cross promotion. You're like, hey, the new My Hero Academia opening is sung by the such and such band. What the fuck is their name? Overworld or some shit. Here's their new single. And like very incredibly rarely, and like the only most recent example I can think of this is like in Erased. Would a company like go back through a song's discography, a band's discography rather, and pull a song from like that they've already made and be like, we want to use this for the opening. Now this, of course, doesn't really fall into either of those.
It's a cover. It's like another existing song that they covered it. Okay. So there's the ending. The ending is also a cover. Are you guys aware of the original for the ending? The ending theme?
I'm not.
Because,
I have
this
not
is okay.
seen the ending.
Oh, come on. Okay, so actually this is a good segue for me to talk about a bit of a backstory. So y'all know I like the 4-digit bits. And I partly like it because, well, it's about electronic music actually. Most music shows I've watched are either bands or singing. And then and that one's the first one, like, oh, right, yeah, that's the thing I do, that's the thing. So ever since I watched the whole thing, and it's like, oh yeah, it's good. It left a mark on me. And then, but ever since then, I was looking forward to, like, other electronic music songs. So this one was a calling. It's like, oh my god, is this the the EDM anime that I've been longing for? Unfortunately, it's kind of not, but... it's not about the music specifically, but I'll let that slide. But one thing I want to mention is in D4DJ, there's this one song that they cover. It's called it's what is it? DJ. Basically, there's this one song they cover, and it's like a really important song in the arc and the. Fucking, I mean, let me like, I can't sleep without knowing I'm reminding myself the title. Hey DJ, I know the title. Okay, Kibun Jojo, fine. Oh god, okay, Kibun Jojo is the title. All right, it's like a really important song in D4, so it really did left a mark on me. And then imagine my surprise hearing that song again as the ending. I was super excited. Like, oh wow. That's a song I know, and that's a song I like. And it literally made me jump. Then it's like a really influential song, I guess. And it's just really nice to see it in here in this fashion, another format. And yeah. that's that's backstory why I like it. And why I cannot note of this. I really literally jumped over I was watching this in bed. This is like the one I watched way earlier. This is the first one I watched. Watching this in bed. I was like, that song came on. I literally like, put my phone and I just literally jump using my bed as trampoline. So oh my god, yes. Oh yeah. So yeah. Good. And the cover itself is really good. I like the song too. Yeah.
I'm literally watching the OP right now. The visuals are so good.
Dude, the opening is one of the best of the season.
Yeah,
not
a
a fucking question.
Good banger song, banger visuals too. Totally.
Dude, when they hit the dance to the chorus and they're all doing the synchronized like arm motions.
Totally.
Hell yeah.
100%.
The only other
I kind of wish I had
really. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't have too much to say, and I'm surprised by it because I think the show is really really good. It's only gonna get better, I'd imagine. I was surprised to find out that this was a manga, not a PA Works original, because PA Works almost exclusively works in originals these days.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
they
sure
did a good.
Is the manga particularly well received?
Yeah, it's apparently well received.
I can't
Apparently, I just checked.
particularly imagine so.
Apparently well received.
Let me check on the Mal page.
Okay, so while y'all are looking for notes, I'm going to just like what I took notes on. So again, my love for this really came from the fact that I've been waiting for an EDM show again since D4. And okay, so one of the notes I have is in D4 DJ there's like the company they outsource the songs to is actually they do the same songs too here. They do the songs here too, and I felt immediately at home. It's like, yes, this is a style of song I recognize and I'm very comfortable with. And yeah, I said it before, it's a banger.
So you're nerding a lot over the music, while we're just like Kongming funny.
Kongming funny, and then the music.
Thank fucking God that it's not Nobunaga again.
What is Nobunaga?
You don't know who Nobunaga is?
I'm not going to.
No, I do not.
He's like a famous Japanese, I think kind of like Kongming is like a war general or lord. And there's like 1,000 fucking anime about him being reincarnated into like different.
Okay. That's an interesting
times and worlds.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of it. Oh yeah, another thing about the music, they animated the guitar correctly. Woo!
Yeah. They animated the guitar correctly. Well, Vlusky, you gotta make that video now and get another 400,000 views.
Vlusky.
Yeah, that time I'm going to. I'm gonna use that as a fucking like another promotional stunt. My Bang Dream video just popped off right now. It's almost at 5K views. I am so glad. Anyway, most of the notes I took here is just me nerding out on music and me comparing this to the other EDM show that I watched previously. And okay, I'm gonna give a quick summary. Overall, it has come to my realization that they're different shows. Alright. E4 DJ is more about the DJ bit, and then it's more I guess more slice of lifey with how they interact with it. And this one is just, well, I don't think it needs any more describing. But yeah, there are a couple bits where they did overlap, and there's one bit where like Kongming asked like what does BPM mean? And then the explanation in D4 was a lot more thorough. But Echo was like, yeah, it's the song's tempo, and then we use slow ones to ramp up the things, la 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 la. And yeah, that's mostly how my notes goes. Overall, I think both of them are good in their own reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, Kongming is a very high recommendation.
It's a very high recommendation. It's like it's one of the few where us three have like a mutual feeling to it.
I guess my favorite thing about It's Your Boy Kongming, aside from just that amazing English title.
Yeah, Boy Kongming.
It's just.
I forgot what party means.
It's just such a weird combination of different things. Like, it feels like the author was like, okay, I like music and I like history. How do I combine these into one show?
Yeah, it's like one of those notes I have.
That's how the best stories get made, because the authors combine their favorite things into like, all right, maybe if I write this well enough, people
will actually understand the passion that I have. It. Actually, this is one of those I have. This treats like the authors just dream fan fiction. Oh boy, hot old dudes with cute girl doing DJ activities. Oh wow, who could resist?
You know, the manager of the bar, I wonder if he's just kind of a
probably just a self-insert.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I finally have someone to talk about history with.
Specifically the Three Kingdoms where Kongming resides from.
I mean, I'd probably be ecstatic too if I found someone to nerd modular synthesis with, but yeah.
Alright, well, it seems like we're all pretty positive on your Boy Kongming.
One more thing about to say about this is that it's more like a nitpick, but there are dance scenes, like to me, it's okay. This is one of those things where I call it a close second syndrome. It is like just so close to perfect, you can't help but just nitpick it. The performance scenes, it looks to me it looks like at some point the animators just got overwhelmed, and it just looks like it's a jittery and stuff. But other than that, though. Yeah, this is good.
Bro, when she's playing the guitar for Kongming and like her animation's going through the roof.
Yeah, that bit was good. That bit was good.
I did not notice any issues with.
Yeah, no, it's more like it's just so no. It's just one of those things I noticed. Like yeah, oh yeah.
It sounds like we're all pretty positive on Kongming.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious as to where all of our perspectives are on the next show, Birdie Wing Girls Golf Story.
Or as I like to call it, golf, but with retard logic.
What a wide array of shows we cover in here, let's say.
So much like how Kongming's author was taking a combination of a love of history and a love of EDM music, the creators of Girls Golf Story, I can only imagine, took their love of golf and combined it with stories about living on the fucking streets.
Apparently.
And having like deals with I can only assume are like moguls of some kind to like bet incredibly large sums of money for games of golf in weird locations. Like they play golf in the slums next to a rail yard.
Yeah. I think so. The show's basically about people who hire the two main characters to win a golf game for them, and if they lose the golf game, the people who play the golf have to pay money, and if they win, then the people who hired them have to pay money. So it's basically like betting that they'll win or something like that.
I think I was not expecting this to be so weird. I was when I thought this was just gonna be like a normal sports anime, but it's gonna be about cute girls doing golf things. And then the main blonde girl took her fucking Mission Impossible mask off. When she was pretending to
skip
be that one pro golfer.
They're doing golf. Oh, they're on a train now. Oh, cool. They're doing golf on the side of the train. Okay, sweet. And then there goes my thoughts on it. But one thing I'll do take note though, the mask girl character.
Hisoka. It's just Hisoka.
Okay, so girl, do you want to borrow my recording equipment or something? For some reason, her sound quality is like significantly lower than everyone else.
She had a mask on.
Turns out to me is that she has bad audio quality.
Is it because she had a mask on?
No, it sounds like it's like a few bit rates lower.
I didn't actually notice that.
I didn't notice that. Probably because she had a mask on.
Oh, okay. So years of just like my mixing experience paid off, I guess. That's the thing I nitpicked. Other than that, I mean, what else do I have to say?
Okay, so the moment when I realized that I would never be able to take this show seriously is when she's doing the sort of first major game of the episode, right? This guy's like hired her and like, okay, you're gonna win against this masked girl. And so she goes for the swing that they think is impossible. The directing goes insane for a moment, and it like shows her muscles for some reason. Like her skin just goes invisible and it's just her muscles. Then she swings the ball through a moving train, right in between the train cars.
She uses her special anime power.
Yeah, except the train, the train wasn't there before, but then the train went through, and she chose to swing. She chose to do her swing as the train was going by. She intentionally made it harder for herself for no reason, unless you're using some ridiculous logic and saying that, the air
because she's
currents
just
from
so
the
good at
train.
golf that
Yeah,
she's
she's
trying
so
to
good
make
at
it like
it,
as hard for her as possible. That's why she lets her friend take her first swing for her.
And then the golf ball hits a rake, and the rake like propels it into the hole, or like right next to it, something like that.
Yeah, the
and
ricochet.
I'm just like, what?
What is going on?
Yeah, she's just flexing, bro. She's just the best at golf.
She's so good that all right. So
she's so good. She broke the law of physics.
These orphans. She cares about these orphan children so much. She's like doing anything to get money for them. Yeah, she also makes it harder on herself to get money for them. I don't understand.
To be honest.
She's challenging herself because she knows that she's just the ultimate best at golf. No one can ever challenge her. She plays not for the love of the sport, but to feel something. Just to be like, oh man, maybe if I handicap myself this, maybe if I just like stab myself in my own leg, maybe there'll be enough of a handicap so someone give me a decent challenge.
Is that like her characterization? I stopped halfway through the episode, honestly.
I think that is her characterization. At one point, she's playing this other girl, and she has a tree dead center in the way of the hole. So instead of shooting around the tree, she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna smack the ball super fucking hard and precise, and it's going to go through an old dying tree branch. And I'm gonna play the odds and hope that I just hit it with enough force that just goes right through the branch. It doesn't just bounce off.
I guess that could be the direction it's going in, but I mean overall, it's just kind of ridiculous golf. Golf, but impossible to take seriously, which I guess can be funny and kind of fun, but I also didn't really care for the main character, at least what I saw of her. Overall, just didn't like this one. It's kind of brushed off me.
It has an interesting story, kind of, but it's not as it doesn't have the production values of Sky Blue Utility.
Yeah, it's not well executed. That's
which I think is the better golfing anime.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, I don't. Not that I don't appreciate the retard logic that the show is operating on with its the setting that it's set up for itself, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I would have just enjoyed my time vibing with those three girls from Sky Blue Utility more than I did following along the narrative of this show.
Dude, I so wish Sarairo Utility was a full show. That would be awesome.
I'm looking at the page.
Oh my god! More.
This shit looks. Oh, this looks amazing. Oh, I'm not sad.
Are you looking?
It wasn't even that
Utility?
good. It was more of like a pilot, like a proof of concept.
Interesting.
It's not like amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 10 just because it's like a short special thing, but it's like those 15 minutes. Those were a fun 15 minutes.
But it's just 15 minutes.
This one is just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
It's just one fun 15 minutes.
It's just.
Speaking of, did you have a fun 15 minutes watching Onipan?
Not really. So the funniest thing about Onipan to me was the translator notes, where in episode 2, I think this is. I'm just gonna read this note out in its entirety. In episode 2, there's this line, like, with just one spoonful, you can follow Momotaro's lead without worry. And the translator note says, IDFK. Just at the top. Translator note, IDFK. He doesn't even know what
Must have been the fan subs.
That says a lot, I guess. That describes Mike's. To me, it just...
I took exactly 3 notes on Onipan. The very first note was in all capital letters. Is that the fucking Spider-Man 2 pizza theme at the start?
I don't actually.
What's the other two?
As soon as I picked up on the tune, granted, it's not from Spider-Man 2. It's just like a pre-existing song that is made a meme. Yeah.
Actually, I have a note on that, except the one that I linked it to was VeggieTales, because for some reason I've always associated the song with VeggieTales.
Oh man, I haven't seen fucking VeggieTales in years and years.
I remember it
That's
from my
wide
childhood.
array.
It used to be my favorite show as a child. God.
Good Christian vegetables.
Yeah.
So like, was the voice acting in Onipan supposed to be that terrible?
I actually checked this because I noticed that too. All of
Yeah,
the voice
they're all
actors have
new.
never voice acted in anime before. This is their first performance in anime.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
That's one way to.
There's this
It's
one
just
part
kind of.
where one of the characters tells the other, "Don't make such a glum face." But the animation didn't show her making a glum face at all. She just kind of had a neutral expression. This is in episode 2, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw that far into it.
Oh no, I did not make it past the
watched like
first
two.
episode.
No. I watched like I think 2 episodes in. I forgot everything that happened. Don't know what happened.
I physically couldn't make it. The blonde Oni girl looks too much like the blonde troll from High Guardian Spice, and I couldn't do it, man.
Hold on, I'm gonna check these character designs out because I think the character designer is either the author or the character designer is the same one from Yuri Yuri.
This is by fucking Wit, by the way.
The what now?
Oh,
the what now?
Why? What? Why?
All right, I'm
Like,
Why?
was this like an experiment or something? I
Well,
want to.
That's
Of all of the anime made this season, if we lived in a world where like every anime got like a production crew documentary about it, I'm most curious to watch the one for this one, just to be like, what were they thinking?
What the
Okay,
hell?
hold
What
on.
was the
happened?
thought process?
This Onipan has it. It's on episode 26, and it will air in total 60 episodes. let that sink
wait,
in.
I don't know where you're getting that. Is that on AniList?
Yeah, AniList, yeah.
Yeah, AniList.
I have no comments.
Yeah, I've already gone through my notes.
Okay,
Let's talk about the premise. It's about these Oni girls who want to prove to society that Onis can integrate in human society just fine, and not to judge them or think they're weird. And they do it by wearing magic Oni underpants that turn them into different. They give them different Balan Wonderworld costumes.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Okay, I'll give it like one. Okay, I'll give it one praise. Okay, there's the one bit it's like they said something. It's like and then they said something that will something, and then it's like, hey, this anime should end now. It's like, that skit actually got me. For 2 reasons. Number one, that actually got a chuckle out of me. Number 2, I really do want this to end.
Onipan is the most anime ever.
So it's not even anime. It's like I literally just I watched this, right?
It feels like it's trying to be a shitpost anime, but it doesn't.
If y'all want a shitpost anime, try Holo no Graffiti. Man, that one's an actual shitpost.
I tried that.
No, not even that. If you want a shitpost anime, watch Henki Shoujo. Henki Shoujo is amazing. That's how you do a shitpost anime.
I don't think I've heard of this. Wait,
you've never heard of it?
Shoujo.
Me neither.
Are you talking? You're not talking about. No, wait, hold on. Henki Shoujo.
You rated this.
I can't seem to find it on Mal.
Henkei.
Henkei. Here, let me share. Because all the episodes are on YouTube. Let me share one of the episodes.
Oh, right. Okay. This is one of my bucket list.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing.
2017. Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, I see. Okay, I've definitely seen the clip of this one. It's the one where she drinks the gas from the pump and then turns into the fighter jet.
That was the clip that got me introduced to it. And their episode 3 is even funnier. I just linked it in group chat. Or not group chat, but general. Just so Neon Manta can witness this.
We can.
It's
I've also seen this clip
is where it came
too.
from.
This is when she transforms into a car, right?
Yeah.
Right.
She's undressing.
Yeah, okay,
and she turns into a car.
Yeah, I've seen the clips. I just did not know the name of the show.
Me too. Like, okay, now I know. Now I know it. Also, quick shout out to the score distribution thing. By the way, it looks rad. Never seen something like that. There's something so split right there. Oh jeez. All right, that's one interesting. Yeah.
Well, with that, fellas, it's been a long and arduous journey, but we've covered the entire spring 2022 season.
One note that I have, one massive note that I have is that I'm going to never do this again. I'm not.
Damn. All right. We'll kick you out of the channel.
Guys, do this for me next time. All right, I'm done.
All right. So what are your real quickly? What are your overall thoughts on the season? What do you think of it on the whole?
There are a lot more. There's a higher quantity of better shows than there were last season.
Than previous one, from what I can tell. But to me, it's like it's 50-50, I guess. Or at least like not.
Yeah, it's kind of split down the middle. There's the cream is rising to the crop. People are recognizing your boy Kongming more and more, which is definitely the greatest justice that this season could have given us.
Totally, 100%.
What I found interesting was that the first all right, so for the first time on this podcast, the first block of episodes and the second block of episodes were like very distinctly different in quality.
Yeah. That's. I think
I
said that in passing. I think I said that in passing. Like, yes, we have a wide range of qualities in here. Hi.
So the first
block one, there was Spy Family, and then there was, I don't know, Daemon, Love After World Domination, which are like just okay.
So we have from Spy X Family to establish.
So
truly the horseshoe of quality.
The first block of episodes was very consistent, and I mean, obviously it had Spy Family, so, you know, obviously it's a pretty good block. Spy Family could, like, honestly carry the entire block.
Yeah, it would carry the thing, eh?
But aside from that, it's very consistent overall. The only real downers are, I'd have to check the pins, but I mean, I know Vlusky will disagree with us, but Stab Life obviously wasn't that good. RBG, Real Estate, Love All Play. Skeleton Knight in Another World. Those are the only really bad shows. Oh,
the rest are
at least bearable. The rest actually has a good direction.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with you then, Vlusky. What are your top and bottom three shows from the season?
Top three: Spy X Family, Your Boy Kongming, and Shikimori. That's top three. Bottom three is from least worst to most worst is the one where it opens up with the rape scene, so just Skeleton Knight, Another World.
Skeleton Knight, baby!
Yeah, and then the golf thing, and also the horse, the Pimp My Horse, Fanfare of Adolescence. Yeah, that's my... Stab Life, I'm going to put that on a special place for now, since I'm not sure whether... I'm still on the fence about that.
A special pedestal above the rest.
Either pedestal. That was an interesting case because I never actually experienced my opinion something like that before. Where they're like, oh, what is this? And I'm oddly endeared to it. So yeah, that's my verdict.
How about you, Crunchy?
All right. Just real quick on the second block compared to the first block. The first block was consistent. The second block had probably. It had the higher cream, but most of it was not
higher highs, lower lows.
Higher highs, lower lows, but there weren't that many high highs, and there were a lot of very low lows in the second block. And that was a bit disappointing. So overall, very mixed bag of a season, but hey, it's better than winter. Better than last season.
Yeah, it's better than last season.
But there was one good show. Well, okay, there were two good shows in winter.
Yeah.
Because there would have been three, but Bisco ended up shitting the bed, so...
So, my number 3 best show is It's Ya Boy Kongming. My second best show is Dance Dance Danseur. And the first show... Drumroll, please... No drumroll, you know what it is. It's very obviously Spy Family. It wasn't going to be anything else.
Yeah, I think it's a given.
The third worst show is The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody. That was the one I had a rant about. The second worst show is I'm Quitting Heroing because it's one giant, long, extended conversation in a single room that's unfunny. And the first worst show, which ironically I only saw less than a minute of, is Skeleton Knight in Another World. Because fuck that.
Understandable.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, my top 3 best. This one was hard. I was going back and forth between your boy Kongming and Danseur. I'll definitely say with those 2 shows and the next 2 shows, I'll say they're definitely the 4 best of the season. And if you're gonna only watch like 4, watch those 4. I give the slight edge to your boy Kongming, if only for being so out there and ridiculous that it's like it endeared me in a way that, not to say Danseur is not endearing, but like Danseur is traditionally endearing, whereas Kongming is like non-traditionally endearing and has that quirk. It's a quirked up white boy and it's looking to be goated with the sauce, you know?
Totally.
Second best, might get hung from the gallows for this one, but I really adore what they're doing with Shikimori. Is not just a cutie; it's just my kind of show.
Understandable.
And hey, maybe Kongming will end up being better than it. These are all just recommendations based off like the first couple episodes.
If my predictions are correct, okay, so go on.
And of course, Spy Family.
All right, so you have the exact
best
same top 3 as me.
Yep, because it's Spy Family, bro.
Yeah, it's Spy. Yeah.
Nothing was gonna beat Spy Family. Maybe Kongming.
Yes.
Vlusky, did you put Shikimori ahead of?
No. Okay, so it's actually I said it from best to not first in the list, but it's Spy X Family. That's the top one. Your boy Kongming, second place, and in third place Shikimori. So, yeah.
Okay, we just have our second and third swap then.
Yeah.
And then as for bottom 3, after much deliberation, because there was quite a number of shows that could qualify for this list, like A Stab Life, the Otome Mob Game, Love All Plague, Fanfare of Adolescence and whatnot. But the third worst is, I'd say, Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody for just being the most light novel reincarnated show of the season. Even so much that it's blending together with the fucking I'm Quitting heroing. In fact, as I try to remember them, I might be getting scenes from them confused with one another because of how similar they are. Second place, it's weird because I have Skeleton Knight as my second worst show of the season, but if you want a good fucked up laugh, just watch the first minute of Skeleton Knight, and that could probably just be anime of the year. But
fair enough,
and then just pretend that the rest of the show doesn't exist. And the worst one, y'all might call me crazy for this one, but Heroines Run the Show, because it was the only show this entire season that made me feel like this is harmful to society. This is like the Rent-A-Girlfriend.
The reasoning is fair
effect.
enough. Personally, I enjoyed what I saw of it. But yeah, I understand your point and even agree with it.
Kind.
Yeah, it's like they're technically speaking, there are worse shows made this season, but as far as what the damage that can be done by yet another isekai anime, yet another
self-insert,
hilariously out of place rape scene, can only be outmatched by the horrible stroking of the idle cocks to an audience that is very infamous for being easily manipulated.
That's a good reasoning. All right, not fair enough. All right.
And with that, we've finally reached the conclusion of this episode of the Castaway Anime Seasonal Podcast. Vlusky, where can we find you?
Nowhere. I'm in Mars right now. You can follow me on Twitter, Vlusky_Husky. I post either cool renders there, or if I do draws, or if I do sneak peeks. Mostly I just retweet art and fan. But okay, I don't have YouTube channel, Vlusky the Husky. I do reviews on there. If you don't know, mostly I have a couple of views on Planet. Also, I'm currently working on a new series where not telling what that would be, but hopefully y'all would look forward to it. Anyway, and also don't forget my SoundCloud. That's apparently like the bit where it's like the most ignored.
I mean, if you have a SoundCloud, if you send it to me, I'll link it into the
yeah,
in the
SoundCloud, Vlusky_. If like experimental electronic is your thing, yeah, go for it. Also, all of them are downloadable on Bandcamp if y'all want, and all of them are Creative Commons if y'all want to use it in the background or something. Yeah, that's where I am. That's where I hang out.
It was a shame that Casual couldn't stay for the entire podcast,
really
but we'll still link his stuff in the description.
If Casual were here, I have someone to nerd out before DJ with. Instead of just pure silence.
He's British, but we can look past.
For the one time only. Next time, it's on site.
Next time we have revenge for living out for to stay with us for fourth. Well, one way.
If you enjoyed the podcast, please tell us what you thought about the shows, and hit subscribe. We've got a lot of shows planned to cover for the season of the summer. We're gonna be doing Spy Family, of course. We're gonna be doing motherfucking Made in Abyss, getting ready for the second season of that. We're maybe finally gonna tackle Bleach like we promised a while ago. We're planning on upping the content release for this channel, and hopefully maybe I'll actually get my own fucking video out on time, and actually not even a matter of on time, actually just fucking made.
And hopefully I can finally get that a script out of scripting hell.
Yeah, my problem isn't scripting. My problem is just putting the video together after I've recorded the audio.
My process is a bit different because once scripting is done, everything else usually just goes smoothly. So yeah.
Well, this has been the Castaway Anime Podcast. We've been joined by Vlusky
and Casual for a few seconds.
Kind of casual.
And this has been Crunchy Bagels and Neon Manta. You'll see us next time.